Good afternoon and welcome to New River Stadium here in the heart of the United Kingdom, London, England, for Game 2 of Brit Bowl 33 weekend. I'm Matt Walker, joined as ever by Carl Walkinshaw and Tash Crump. Afternoon, guys.
Good to see you, Matt.
Obviously, we can just see the teams just out on the field. We've got about 30 minutes till kickoff, and then we will get this Division 1 matchup underway. If you were with us earlier, you will have seen the South Wales Warriors defeat the Bournemouth Bobcats by a score of 13-0 in the Division 2 South Bowl, which crowns the London Warriors. Sorry, the South Wales Warriors. It crowns them the Division 2 champions. But let's turn our attention to this one. This is the Division 1 Bowl. As I said, Sandwell Steelers and the Solent Thrashes. We'll begin talking about the Sandwell Steelers. We've got a lot to get through this pre-game. Not only are we going to talk about both teams, but we've got our friends from X's and O's who are going to do a live bit of podcasting during the show. So all really, really exciting. But guys, let's turn our attention to Sandwell to begin with. Sandwell in the NFC 1 in the north, obviously North representatives. What can you tell us about them, particularly, Carl, and the strengths that they bring here today?
They have been good for a number of years now. Only 4 years they've been around, Sandwell Steelers. People forget that. They're a very young team, but they've been dominant ever since they started, really. They have a very good coaching staff. They drew a lot of talent from the Midlands when they actually first set up, and now under the guidance of Maxwell Pettijohn, who's got a good pedigree himself, both with GB and with the Birmingham Lions university team. They're a force to be reckoned with in the north, and they have been. They've come up short a couple of years running, trying to get into the Premiership, mainly because teams were just in their way. Leicester Falcons, most obviously last year, who they just couldn't beat, and that's partly because they had an injured quarterback who is Tristan Varney. And Tristan Varney is their talisman, and we're going to see him playing today, and we're excited about seeing that. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, I would say. Absolutely.
And from your perspective, Sandwell, I know you know a couple of the players on there.
Yeah, played at university level with a couple of the players. I think that it's one of those where they've been knocking at the door for ages, and I was lucky enough to actually be coached by some of the players and the coaches from Sandwell, because they came down to Staffordshire to help us out as a team. I think they have been. This has been coming for a while.
Sure.
This has definitely been coming for a while. And like what Carl, you just said, if the Leicester Falcons hadn't been there last season and hadn't had that development, that growth that they did, I think Sandwell would have been in the final last season. They would have been promoted last season. So, yeah.
So, nice matchup this afternoon between Solent and Sandwell, in that both teams are undefeated coming into this one, both with 10-0 records. I say we'll talk about Solent in a little while, but let's have a look at Sandwell to begin with. I mentioned, Carl, about that 10-0 record, and they've been pretty dominant through this season.
They have. If you look at some of the scores, which I'm doing now, they opened their account with a 48-0 beating of Doncaster. They then went on to beat Nottingham 41-6. They shut out Shropshire. Shropshire, obviously, a good team, and they shut them out 37-0. Then they had a 50-burger against Chester, 57-12. Then another one against Doncaster, 66-0. It went on and on and on. Lots of shutouts, scoring lots of points along the way. 59-6 over the Wolves, 48-0 over Nottingham. And then they get to the playoffs, and those two critical games, the closest of which was that amazing game between Sandwell and East Kilbride, when East Kilbride jump out to a 20-0 lead, and Sandwell come back with 3 unanswered touchdowns to win the game on the extra point, 21-20.
Incredible.
So that's really been, if you need to be tested in the playoffs, which lots of these teams do, it's all very well thumping teams week in, week out, but when you get to the playoffs, you do get tested. And when they were tested, they didn't come up short. They beat East Kilbride and then went on to beat Northumberland Vikings 21-3 in a dominant performance to win out in the north and win the Premiership promotion.
I think it's... Go on, sorry, Tash.
No, I was just going to say, I think when you see those scores, they haven't been with a healthy team either. So when you actually look at Sandwell's injuries this season, they've actually had a lot of injuries along the way. So that just shows that not only do they have those starters that can play up to that level, but actually got depth as well. And that really helps.
Regular season, both of you really, do all those shutouts and all that offensive production point to a very, very good team, or a team that's in a division that really they have outgrown?
We won't know until we see them against the South. I mean, we know that the North was strong last year. We don't know yet. My feeling is that this is going to be a very close game at these two teams, and that there is parity across the North and South this year, and then we'll see a very close game. But I think we're going to go to, we want to go, I think we want to show some X's and O's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's time to join our friends from X's and O's. They've been doing some work with us, and they will continue to all over the weekend. So we'll talk about the Solent Thrashes when we come back, but for now, enjoy this.
Hey there, guys, people. We're here again. Solent Thrashes, Sandwell Steelers. I'm joined by one of the OGs in the London game right now. You lot would know him. London Hornets head coach. How you feel about the game today, my guy?
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, hoping Thrashers win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the event and like the whole setup and everything that we got here going on today?
Yeah, it's better than previous years.
Yep.
It's more of a fillable stadium than some of the stadiums that's been held in the past, where 15,000 seat stadium only got 1,000 people.
Yeah.
It's not a good
representation of the game.
for the game. No.
So it's good to see that happening. And I guess I gotta ask you now, who were you for? The Steelers and Solent Thrashes?
I'll have to go with the Thrashers.
Any reason?
Because they beat us in the quarterfinals.
Ah, I see. So a bit of bad blood there, yeah?
No. I wish them all the best, actually. Better team won on the day.
Yeah.
And I know the schedule that they play. I know the teams they face week in, week out.
Yep.
And for me personally, it's most probably a better caliber of team than the Steelers have to play week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's football, so as they say, if any given Sunday, but it's a Saturday.
I feel you. Thanks for all of that, man. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
As you can see, it's due to be a pretty big game here today. Things are heating up. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much. Great to hear the views of the fans out there and have our X's and O's buddies on board with us. So, without further ado, Solent, we're fast approaching kickoff. Solent, another 10-0 team. What does Solent bring? And looking out there before the game, they bring a big squad, that's for sure.
They do, and they've needed it. They've needed the depth because they had a lot of injuries. They actually had a wide receiver they brought in specially, and within 25 minutes of the season, he broke his leg. So they've lost a lot of players, and that continued. I mean, when you speak to Steve Rains, we'll hear from him in a little while, but when you speak to him, he says lots of injuries, but what that has meant is that teams have stood up, players have stood up and really taken on the mantle of other players that have gone down.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm originally from Southampton, so seeing some of my friends, seeing some people that I know like go through, play, and seeing them grow as a team and what they've done, they have very close connections with the universities in Southampton, and I think that really helps them with their players and connections.
So you'll be totally impartial this afternoon then?
Massive. Well, the thing is, though, is I love Sandwell as well.
Right.
Like, I've got a soft spot for them. I think
Sure.
they're a great team, so I am actually impartial today.
One thing when the Thrashers do take the field, you'll notice they're not in their regular kit, and we'll hand over to Steve Rains and he can explain a little bit more.
I'm here with head coach of the Solent Thrashes. Congratulations on getting this far, Steve Rains. Welcome to the game.
Thanks very much.
Tell us about your season. 12-0, unbeaten so far, so it's been a fantastic season. What's made the difference this year?
It's been a really hard season, tough season. It's been a progression over the last 3 years. We went 6-4 in my first year at the club, made the playoffs, got knocked out round one. Last year 9-1, made the playoffs, got through round one, got knocked out in the Southern final by the Kent Exiles. We look a bit like them today.
Yeah.
And then this year, 20 minutes into the first game, we had our first serious injury, a broken leg that took a wide receiver out for the season. It's been quite traumatic during the year, but as you can see, we've got a big squad. People have stepped up, filled in, and done a great job. Team spirit's great, and so, yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
And you mentioned that you're in Kent Exiles jerseys today, I noticed. So was that just a colour clash with Sandwell?
Yeah, you'd really need to ask BAFA about it, because we called them after our semi-final win and they told us there was no problem with the black against the grey, and then Wednesday they changed their mind and said, actually no, you've got to change, which put us in a bit of a hole. But I want to say big thanks to Northumberland Vikings, Leicester Falcons, London Olympians, Doncaster Mustangs and the Kent Exiles, all of whom stepped up and offered us help, showing the real spirit of football.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so today we wear Kent Exiles jerseys during the game, but that's one of those things.
But you are the Solent Thrashers, make no mistake. So
yeah,
you're playing.
We'll have white shirts next year, by the way. They're on order.
Okay, good. So you're playing Sandwell today. Sandwell Steelers, obviously a very good outfit. We've seen them. We saw them last year against Leicester a number of times. So yeah, we know them well. How do you match up against these Sandwell Steelers?
I think it's going to be fascinating, because you can never really tell north-south until the two come together. And obviously, in the current format, you don't get that at the semi-final stage. Like in the old days, there used to be north-south semi-finals. Now it's all within conference, so you don't actually really know until you get to a game like this. So Yeah, I'm sure that they're a really capable team. They've had a great season, dominated their division, won promotion, and I wish them luck in the Northern Prem next year. We made it to the Southern Prem, and today is going to be a good game.
All right, well, that's fantastic. We wish you the very best of luck. Thanks very much for talking to us, Steve Rains, and we look forward to seeing what the Solent Thrashes can do today.
Okay.
Great to hear from Steve Rains. Unfortunately, Sandwell came out really late and we didn't manage to get any word from them, but I know, speaking to Stuart Andrew during this week, that they're really up for the game this time round. It's going to be a good old clash. So what do you reckon? Sandwell, Solent, where are we going?
Go on, you go first.
I think
Tash.
it's going to be a shootout, I'll be honest. And this one could even go to extra time. I think it could be that close because both teams have the ability to score, and we've seen that all season.
Yeah, it's the running game of Solent against Tristan Varney through the air. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm going Sandwell, Matt.
Okay, well, this is Game 2 of Brit Bowl 33 weekend. It's the Division 1 bowl clash between the Solent Thrashes and the Sandwell Steelers. We will look forward to this one, but on the other side of this break, we're going to hand over to our colleagues at X's and O's, who are going to bring you their podcast. We'll be back shortly.
EP Sports brings you the UK's largest range of American football equipment, from helmets and shoulder pads to gloves and boots. They stock all the latest items from the biggest brands with great prices and fast shipping options all across Europe. What's more, EP have just launched their own teamwear range, allowing you to rep your programme in a huge range of garments from top suppliers. You can even set up your own team shop, and to kick things off, EP are offering up custom team polo shirts at just £10 a pop. To learn more, check out epsports.co.uk.
Afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're watching this. Hope you have a great day. I hope this podcast has made you smile a little bit. I hope it's given you a bit more insight into what we do and why we do it. But yeah, just keep on listening and thank you.
Welcome back to the X's and O's podcast, guys. As you can see, it's a special occasion here. Brit Ball 33. How we feeling, guys?
Woo!
Yeah, how we feeling, guys?
Let's go.
Yeah. So we got Tinker here, and we got Paris. And what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into it, actually. So the topic for today, guys, is: do you think we should host Brit Ball around the UK? Let me know your thoughts.
Host it?
So not just London, but around the UK.
I think that's a bit of a no-brainer, in my opinion. You know, we've got other cities that have American football in it. Why wouldn't we, host it in, like Birmingham?
Yeah.
It would be a great city.
What, so all the big cities, basically?
All the big cities.
Yeah, but they're not London. They're not London.
Yeah,
but
that
listen,
is just typical London attitude.
Listen, no, hold on. What I think personally is, I think London is the hub of the UK, right? Am I wrong?
It's true. It's true.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
It's true.
And think about it. I understand teams like, for example, let's say Edinburgh Wolves will have to travel down. If they were to be in the final, they'd have to travel down. But you'd make it an event. You'd come down a couple of days before.
But you want to give everyone the chance to experience a Brit Bowl final, don't you? So
That's a fair point.
So then you want to host it in Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Cardiff. I don't know. Like
Tinker, what do you think?
I mean, I was at the Six Way Stadium in Worcester for the finals. I think that was a Blitz Warriors final in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really good atmosphere. It was a really nice stadium. The junior final was just before it as well.
Was it a good turnout?
It was a decent turnout.
Because I think that's what everyone's scared of.
It was a decent turnout. but the stadium was very big. It was a very big stadium.
So they couldn't fill it, basically.
It was
This is the perfect venue.
This
today.
is a very good venue. I mean, we've just watched the Bournemouth Bobcats and South Wales Warriors, and they had some loud fans. There weren't that many of them. They made some good noise. It was a really good atmosphere.
You felt it, right?
Definitely.
I understand what you're saying, Paris, because obviously when it was announced that the finals were going to be in London, some people did, kick up a fuss and go, well, what about us? We're all the way up north. We have to.
They've always had it though, so why are they?
Well, I just personally think it's got to be London, man. The reason why, again, it's the hub of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're hosting the Brit Ball finals in London, it's a big deal, man. Like we said, the fans here are amazing, the crowd are amazing, the engagement. People have got defence signs that they made at home and they've brought here. Like, come on. Yeah. I get what you're saying about having it in other parts of the UK, but I personally think it should be in London, personally.
Also,
here we go.
I've got to say it. Mm-hmm. When was the last time there was a Brit Bowl final without a London team?
Oh, man. Boy. That got a reaction.
I mean, what are you just talking about in the Prem?
I mean Prem or anything.
In the Prem,
definitely. When was the last time?
So without
a London team, without Blitz, Warriors, or Olympians.
But you know what? That is why we should actually have in the regular season at least, like in terms of the Prem, there should be at least one game that the top team has to play up north. Regular season, because we can't really gauge. That's the problem. We can't really gauge how good the London teams are or the South teams in general. The North is just playing the North. The South is just playing the South. There's no barometer.
That's a whole other argument about one Prem. One Prem for the whole of the country.
It's a good point, though.
Yeah,
I think. So the answer is. So we've had Warriors, Olympians, the Blitz, going back to the Ravens, London Ravens.
Tamworth have made the last three finals.
So there's always been the London team.
And before Tamworth, it was Coventry with the power in the north.
Okay.
I don't know. I personally think it should be London. That's just what I think anyway.
Bias. It's just bias.
Look, I'm from London, that's fine, but
like it's not.
Give me good enough points to prove me wrong. Like
I'm just saying, you got to give everyone because it's harder. To travel. It's just a travel thing to me. I think it's a bit unfair.
I mean, Bournemouth and South Wales are quite far away from London.
Yeah, but you make an event of it. Like, there's no way these guys would have come down a couple of days before.
Right.
They would have made an occasion of it. And they've probably got friends and family watching. Like, you can hear the crowd now, right?
Yeah, but how many more would there be if it was closer to them? If it was Midlands? So
that's a good point.
Because we got this perception that Brit Ball is just London, and that's what's going to make it pop.
Bar Tamworth winning Brit Bowl a couple of years ago, all the winners have been London teams.
As we say in the group chat, it comes in cycles and waves, isn't it?
Yeah, man, there's two. No,
we don't know. We don't know who's going to be the next big team.
No, you're right.
But
London, right?
London.
See,
what's wrong with you?
That's where the power is. The power is in London.
I think basically.
What is this? What am I witnessing right now?
It's not that we shouldn't do it elsewhere, but I think London is the better venue. That's what I think personally. It's not that we shouldn't do it elsewhere. I just think it's the better venue.
This venue in particular is a good venue.
No, it is.
If there's a similar venue in a different place, then definitely we would want to go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've been to some stadiums elsewhere. I haven't necessarily been to stadiums apart in other parts of the country, apart from Leeds, where we had the final with Kent a couple of years ago.
How was that?
But it was good. A big stadium again. It wasn't necessarily filled. Here it works really well, like you're saying, because
you're really stuck on this, isn't it?
Man. This is a nice stadium. And
what is the point of this conversation? You're just going to be stuck. You're going to be rigid.
Basically, you don't want the London, do you?
You know what it is? I think it's just tied into that whole bias of like just London being better. That's what that is right there.
It kind of is, isn't it?
That's what that is.
It's not a bias.
It is.
Let me be more neutral. The Six-Way Stadium in Worcester, it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was a really nice venue.
Yeah.
And they did fill one of the stands very well, but then you've got the other side of it where it's like 3 empty stands. But I feel like if it was a venue that size, somewhere more central, because getting there was no public transport there.
You know what? That would be a valid point if the stadium was the same size as this stadium. And it was more.
That's cool.
You're comparing a bigger stadium.
Let's look at the game. Let's look at the game and see what we think is going to happen.
Okay.
So, Tinker, I'm going to come to you. Tell me a bit about the game and what you think is going to happen. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah. I managed to get a word from the Solent Thrashes head coach Steve Rains earlier in the week, and he said the guys are really looking forward to a national championship. They said Sandwell are a fairly similar team to them. It should be a really good matchup. When I asked him about any key players we should look out for, he said, it's a team sport. They rely on each other. He did mention 25 minutes into the first game of their season, their new recruit, Chris Evans, a wide receiver, he sadly broke his leg.
And that put him out,
season.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But the guys managed to raise over £500 for him.
Wow, that's pretty impressive,
really
actually.
good.
So well done to them.
Yeah. One player I do want to talk about quickly.
The running back.
25.
Okay. Player to watch, would you say? Player to watch?
Definitely. I mean, we've spoken before about Sussex's linebackers being really good, and he was getting he was very elusive. He was getting a lot of yards on him.
Okay. Yeah. And then I'm just going to quickly cut to Paris. What you got to say about Sandwell? What do you think?
I think, in general, North teams are better than what we think they are.
I'd agree, to be fair. I'd agree.
I'm taking Sandwell.
Yeah.
Simply off of the back of that.
Okay.
They play much more competitive.
I will agree too. I do think they've been doing well for a few years, and I'm surprised it's taken them this long to get into the Prem, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think they had an undefeated season as well. Not this season.
Season before.
Yeah. They've done very well recently, and they made the playoffs.
They're both very good outfits, so this should be a really entertaining game. Sure. And I think I'm excited for everyone to see what they think. The fans are loud already. So yeah, this is great, man. The vibe is good, man. It's good. It's good.
It's a good vibe. It's a good stadium, I'd say. It's a very good stadium.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I think they're just about to kick off. So,
all right. Well, Sandwell, any key players?
I don't know.
No,
I've
it's
just
cool.
watched the tape. I don't know them by.
I would say I think it's gonna be a one-score game. Personally, that's what I think. Both offenses are very, very good.
I want to see how Sandwell's D-line do, because I've noticed watching the Solent games that the quarterback, he's Ali Reid, he has a lot of time in the pocket.
So the O-line are doing a good job to keep giving him that protection.
Former Olympians player, by the way. Shout out Ali.
You have to shout him out.
He's got a very good career. I think for Solent, only criticism would be their defensive backs.
Oh, really?
Not very.
Do you reckon that's the weak point of their game?
I think that would be the weak point of the game.
Right.
We'll just have to see how it goes, because
it's going to be close, no doubt. It's going to be close, but it makes for good viewing, and that's what you want for the fans, right? Good viewing. But like you said, I think it's going to be Sandwell. I'm going to go with Sandwell.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to go with Solent.
Are you really?
I am going to go. Yeah.
Give me a quick score prediction. What's the score line going to be?
14-7 Solent.
14-7 Solent. Paris?
Solent.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So
what do you reckon?
I don't know. You might see 50.
50?
I don't know. I'm just going to say something wild
50?
because yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. You never know, man. You never know. Any given Sunday, as they say, you know what I mean? Any given Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 28.
That's 50 for Sandwell, by the way.
Yeah. What about Solent now? What are you saying? What?
Nah, they're not going to get shut out. They're not going to get shut out. But 2 scores.
Oh, you're going like that.
Solent
on smoke.
Yeah.
No, I would say I think Sandwell 28 and Solent 21. That's what I think.
Nah.
It'd be a good game now. Be a good game.
Yeah, it's be a very good. More run or pass oriented.
Ooh, okay. I think Sandwell got it all, to be honest. They got it all,
Solent
and I know
Solent definitely have it all.
But their running back is pretty decent.
25 is good. He's a good 3-down back, but they've got some other running backs in there as well. Power up the middle, no nonsense.
Do you know what I think? What the difference is both of these teams have both good offenses and defenses.
Yes.
And actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut to Carl and Matt in the live commentary. So we're going to cut to Carl, but first we're going to cut to Matt.
Thank you very much, guys, down there in the studio. We have just heard the national anthems here out on the field, and we are shortly going to be ready for the coin toss. Referee Sean Sambati will be orchestrating that. If you've just joined us, I'm Matt Walker alongside Carl Walkinshaw up in the booth. And
good to be here, Matt.
Absolutely.
Good to see the X's and O's as well. Good job, lads. Really nice to have. Love those guys. Really doing well.
Brilliant podcast. If you've not checked them out, then do so when you can, and they're going to be with us all weekend, both for this game at half-time and the post-game, but also tomorrow for the Under-19 final, and also for the Brit Bowl final itself, the Tamworth Phoenix against the London Warriors tomorrow afternoon. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's turn our attention to this one as Sandwell and Solent in a unfamiliar kit. They're playing in white today, and they're playing in the Kent Exiles kit due to a clash of uniforms earlier in the week. Heard from Steve Rains in our pre-game interview. If you did hear that, a little bit perturbed at that decision, but nevertheless it is what it is, and it makes it much easier for all those watching. But this should be a good one. Let's Let's wait and see the outcome of this. But Carl, it was windy this morning for that Division 2 game, and it's even windier this afternoon.
I know your laptop went for a little walkabout, didn't it?
My laptop's gone. My rosters are looking like they've been scrawled on 4-year-old's paper. But
we're still glad to be here, though. But yeah, you're right. The wind is definitely up. We'll have to see whether that impacts the game or not, on how it impacts the game.
Forecast for a shower or two around 5 o'clock, but that may well blow over given this wind.
We have a BAFA coin. The BAFA logo will be the head, and then the football will be the tail. As the visiting team, you have the choice. You've chosen tails. Tails it is. It is a tail. You want to defer. Okay? You would like the ball. Which way would you like to kick from? So let's turn, please. The Steelers have opted to receive in the first half.
So there we go, our coin toss is completed, and referee Sean Somvati leads his crew of Graham Hedges, Dean Wright, Jim Briggs, Paul Todd, Phil Hume, Liam Wootton and Stuart Tabra. He's our alternate, Stuart Tabra, but the Sandwell Steelers will take possession of the football first of all, and we will get to see Tristan Varney and that prolific Sandwell offence, Carl.
It's always interesting, isn't it, when you get the initial decision of win the toss, do you defer, do you take the ball? Sandwell confident in their quarterback, confident in their offence to get them out on the field and get that score early. And what we saw earlier was South Wales would rather get their defence out on the field. So we'll see how that one plays out, but there is some wind, but we know Tristan Varney, a very skilled quarterback and a guy that's been around for a lot of years now.
Well, the Steelers can do it all. They can do it on the ground, they can do it through the air. They've got defensively, they're strong. We obviously know that if they do get into a hole, as was evident in their first playoff encounter this year, down 20 points to 0, and they still managed to sneak out a 21-20 victory. So we know they're very confident, and as a number of people have said prior to this one, they've been knocking on the door of the Premiership for the last few years, and with their 10-0 perfect season this year, they will be playing Premiership football next year, as will the Solent Thrashes, equally 10-0 in their division as well.
I'm amazed at the size of the squad. If you look over at Solent, there must be 70, 80 players there, surely.
Absolutely so.
Big squad.
And the Sandwell boys haven't travelled lightly either. Solent making an 87-mile journey and Sandwell making a 122-mile journey. Interesting to listen to the X and O's boys about where the Brit Bowl final should be held, and obviously a very strong argument for London being in the nation's capital, but equally arguments from the Brit Bowl nation as well due to travel time. We are just waiting for a 4 o'clock kickoff. What do you think we're going to get from this one? It was a divisive with the X and O's guys, whether it was going to be a close one or a bit of a high-scoring affair. Tash obviously mentioned she thought that she could see a bit of a shootout offensively in this.
Yeah, I'm hoping for lots of points, lots of scoring in this one, and a close game. I think it will be close. We'll see. We will see whether Solent can keep up with Sandwell on the scoreboard.
So, El Getty to get things underway for the Thrashers in this Division 1 Brit Bowl 33 Bowl Final. And the ball is fielded at the 5-yard line. It's then reverse fielded to number 88, Austin Young. And Austin Young, there's a flag on the initial play. Austin Young gets out to the 20-yard line. We'll just have to wait and see what this flag is for, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to be for an illegal block in the back.
So despite the juggling with the ball, it's actually a pretty moderate return in the end. It's just going to be brought out to the 20, but it looks like it's going to be against Sandwell and marched back, so they're going to have pretty poor field position to start this one inside their own 10.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the return team number 29. That'll be half the distance. First down.
So they're going to start this drive on their own 9-yard line. We've mentioned about this before with the return game. That sort of switch of it doesn't seem to be overly effective, particularly if the kick team keep their lane discipline.
And too early in the game maybe to go to that. It's nice to see, and it gives the spectators something to watch, but ineffective for Sandwell on that play.
So here's Tristan Varney, number 7, as Ben Bray goes in motion, then comes back again. Varney, though, hands off on first down. And there's a positive pickup on first down. That running back right there is Thomas Chepanitz.
Chapaninets, yeah. Good play to open them up. I mean, it's the 2-yard gain. But Solent looks strong, certainly in that play up the middle.
Quick no-huddle offence as Varney goes to the air and he makes his first completion of the afternoon. And that's to number 80. And that's Ben Bray once again. These Sandwell jerseys are a little bit difficult to see, the black numbers on the dark grey with the yellow outlines, and the way that the sort of the zeros look a little bit like 8s. So we will obviously do our best to identify the ball carrier on every play. But nevertheless, it's 3rd and short for Varney in the offence. He's got twins either side. Straight to the field, and the ball gets handed off once again, and that's going to be shy of a first down.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Solent. Number 78, Jay Aluwa, coming in there from his tackle position to make that play. And good play it was too. Sandwell come out, they play a very ball-controlled offence, so they're going to take whatever the defence gives them. Tristan Varney on 2nd down, making that completion. Manageable 3rd down, but not able to crack open the interior of that Solent defence as yet.
Chapaninets on that carry, which comes up 2 yards short. Back to receive is Gias. Ball is up, and it's off the side of the boot, and it takes a Solent bounce, and they're going to have outstanding field position for their first possession, somewhere around the Sandwell 30-yard line.
Yeah, Gareth Thomas will be disappointed with that kick. He would have wanted to do much better for his team. So great field position for Solent. That decision to take the ball early following the penalty on the kick return really backfired for the Steelers, as they're now giving the Exiles the ball on the 30-yard line going in.
So Sawyers is set to work. Offset backfield for Sawyers. And the ball is handed off straight away. And great defence. That's Bowley, the running back. And he's met almost immediately that he takes the ball from Sawyers.
Yeah, I think it was Rehan Yarman on the tackle there. He just bear hugged him to the ground and then crushed him in the tackle. So just setting out their stall earlier, these Sandwell Steelers. You'll see it on the replay here. Good pace as he hits the line, but just gets absolutely crushed here and driven back.
So 2nd and 8. Sawyers again. Reverse little counterplay this time, and Sawyers has a blocker and he's got some space and he's through the gap. He splits 2 defenders. Touchdown Solent. 2nd play from scrimmage. Wow, what a start.
That's impressive from Sawyers. 25. What's impressive there is the blocking from Solent on the right-hand side of that line.
That was Bowley.
But the pace of Sawyers when he split those 2 defenders, outstanding.
We'll get this one sorted. Sawyers is the quarterback. With running back is Mr. A. Bowley. So Bowley with the score. Late substitution on for the special teams unit of the Thrashers. Snap is down, kick is up, and that from here looks good. And just like that, 2 offensive plays for the Thrashers, and they find themselves 7-0 ahead.
Yeah, we knew Bowley coming in. We knew number 25 coming into this game. The X's and O's boys singled him out pre-game. We talked about it a little, but seeing him in the flesh, actually splitting those 2 defenders with that speed, because they were corralling him. They had good pursuit angles, and it was just sheer speed. You'll see it here. Sawyer's hands over on the counter. Look at the guards pulling. Decent block. Bowley stays behind 74, and then it's right here. He turns on the burners, just splits those 2 defenders who have a good angle on him as he gets into the end zone, and that is impressive speed, and that is scary for a defence to face.
Those pulling linemen, McClure and Wing, and like you say, Bowley was very patient, waiting for those guards to pull, sealing the edge and giving him that opportunity to get into the secondary and split those DBs. So the perfect start for the Solent Thrashes as the wind picks up here at New River Stadium in the nation's capital on this late August weekend for Brit Bowl 33. It's a lovely, lovely kick, and they try that little reverse idea again, and he's going to not get too far out again. That's another penalty. And that's close to being an illegal hit, but no flag coming out on that one again. There is a flag in the centre of the field, which again generally suggests a hold or a block in the back.
Yeah, T. Bain, number 31, coming in to put that runner into the ground. Another flag's actually gone down now. Whether they're going to call illegal hit as well, I don't know.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 18. That'll be a half the distance penalty. First down.
Andy Wilson guilty of the infraction on that one.
See here on the replay, 44 does enough to slow him up, 86, and then the hit comes in from the left side of your screen straight down. And again, helmet to helmet. We've seen these earlier in the game.
Not called again.
Refs are not calling these, and we can see them clearly on the replay.
So first down inside their own 5-yard line. Ball handed off. That Solent Thrashes defence is not giving any meterage at all. That's Chepaninets again. Going to be tough sledding if this is the way things are going to go. Picks up a yard, but no more.
Yeah, this Solent defence impressive early on. This whole Solent team is. We know it's good coaching staff with Sandwell. They'll make adjustments quickly, but let's see what Tristan Varney can do on second down.
So 2nd and 9. Varney once again, play action this time. He's close. That's going to be a fumble. And that's... Oh, it's going to be called incomplete pass. Varney just managed to get that one away, but he was under immense pressure once again.
Jay Alua, defensive lineman, coming in there and putting Tristan Varney under a huge amount of pressure.
Officials, let's have a look. Was this a fumble or was it an incomplete pass?
So good for handwork from 78. Looks very close, and I'm not sure. That looks like at least a safety to me.
I agree. Is there official?
If it's
the player was hit while his arm was coming forward, therefore it was an incomplete pass and no need to have an eligible receiver in the area.
Okay, There you go, there's the call. Close call.
Very close. So that will now be 3rd and 9. And what an inauspicious start this is for the West Midlands outfit.
Just key decisions, isn't it? You know, the decision not to take the ball, backed up, the poor kick returns, the penalties, putting these Steelers under pressure early on.
3rd down, Varney to the air again. He's got time this time, and it's in. In and out of the hands first of the receiver, who was Stephen Kinnersley, and then second, the DB, who was Hugo.
Yeah,
wow.
Hugo won that back. It just came, you'll see it here. Varney's got a very strong arm, and he has to whip this one across the field. Receivers it's just too high for the receiver, and Hugo will want that one back.
So punting from his own end zone, the Sandwell special teamer. And it wouldn't surprise me by any stretch if this one gets close to being blocked.
Get the punt away. It's a nice high punt, this one, and it is fielded. The group of players around him, and number 7 there, who's B. Sawyers, who's the quarterback actually for Solent, takes the ball.
So Solent again with a very short field to operate in. 14-0 this early on would be disaster for the Steelers, and at the moment the Thrashers have only run 2 offensive plays. So they'll be fresh, they'll be buoyed by their first series. And out comes Sawyers and Bowley, and that Thrashers offense once again. Motion, dive up the middle, and this time the flag blows the play dead before it's had a chance to get started.
Prior to snap, false start. The team never got set before the motion. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So a bit of a break there for the Steelers this time. Team weren't set before the motion occurred, so 1st and 15. Sandwell's vaunted defense, particularly in the NFC 1 North, is being put to the test at the moment. 2 receivers to the left, I formation in terms of the fullback and halfback, and Sawyers hands off to Bowley, and Bowley looks to bounce out to the left-hand side, but he's wrapped up very, very quickly. It's number 85, Adam Bates.
Yeah, Adam Bates in that defensive line position, coming in, making a nice form tackle. That's what they're going to need. And Sandwell pride themselves on defensive play. Their head coach, Maxwell Petitjean's an ex-linebacker. He knows defense. He gave a talk at BAFA about defense, and he will be wanting to stop this running game when they do on that down, tackling for a loss. So 2nd and 13.
Important series here for Sandwell to make sure that they keep this close early doors until they can find some rhythm. They know the counter play, same play that Bowley scored on in the previous possession. Number 28 that time, I believe. Difficult to read these numbers. Alex Roof on the stop.
Just keep an eye on what the Sandwell Steelers are doing on defence to stop this running game. We knew coming in that Solent had this tough running game. The Thrashers have relied on that the whole game, not put the ball in the air as yet, not had to. But this is 3rd and 11. Let's see what they're going to do here and how Sandwell respond. Sandwell with 2 safeties back.
Look at that wide side of the field, Cole. Nobody out to the left. And Sawyers goes up top. He's got a man. Oh, just out of the outstretched fingers. And that intended receiver was Pascoe. And he'd beaten his man quite significantly, and it may well be just the wind caught hold of that one of Sawyers. Otherwise, that was 14-zip.
Surprise busted coverage. I mean, it may be that if you look here, it's Gareth Thomas who's trying to defend the receiver, and he just breezes past him, does a little delay, and then goes past, does number 13.
Greenfield, number 80, actually did a little hitch pattern, and there was a pump fake from Sawyers, and the DB's bit on that a little bit. And then that other receiver was open over the top, so a long field goal attempt. And it's blocked. And it is blocked, but it stays in play. And you've got to just kind of drop on this one, which Sandwell do manage to do. So a break for the Steelers. Great penetration on the special teams unit. And they block the attempted field goal. And Sandwell will take over. Here's our referee.
The play was a touchback. It was a touchback.
So a touchback as the ball travelled into the end zone off the block, 20-yard line. Best field position of the afternoon for the Steelers.
Sandwell overloading the left-hand side of the line here. They get the block up the middle in the end as they just put enough pressure on that offensive line. All those hands go up, and there's the block. It spins off awkwardly, does this one. Ball could go anywhere, but it does go in the end zone there, and it's touched, and it's a touchback.
Of course, obviously, if you're watching from home, the yellow lines are what we're focusing on today.
Correction. On the previous play, it was the kick was no good and not a touchback, and therefore will be returned to the previous spot. First down.
Okay, so the officials just correcting themselves. Yeah, it was an extra point, obviously, not a punt. Sorry, it was a field goal, not a punt, and therefore a blocked field goal will return to the spot of the field goal attempt. So Sandwell catch a bit more of a break, and we'll have the football on the 30-yard line it is. So can Sandwell get anything going? Caught a couple of breaks there. That pass that just went over the receiver's fingertips. Now the blocked field goal. Now time for Varney and the offense to see if they can get themselves rolling. Here we go. First down, Sandwell. Hand off. Oh, great work on that defensive end, Alua. Number 78, Alua for the Thrashers.
Yeah, it's Japananets on the run again, and just nothing going on. 78 is currently causing all sorts of problems, Alua, as he slowed that one up from his defensive end position. He's one to watch this game. Big number 78, defensive end. Big, rangy defensive end, and good hands if you watch the work he does against this well-drilled offensive line.
Varney straight to the air, quick drop. Gets it in the hands of his receiver, who makes his first man miss. Then the second man miss to the outside. He turns the corner. He's got a first down. Got almost up to midfield, but that's great play. That's one way to get things done. Get the ball in the hands of your playmaker. That's Alex Salter, number 86 for the Steelers. But nice work. Varney saw that. DB sitting off.
Yeah, you can see here the switch. It's the change of direction that actually gets these Solent Thrashers off balance as Alex Salter makes those yards.
First down, Steelers, 45-yard line. Motion man is Ben Bray. Resets in the slot. Another man comes in motion. Drops back to pass again. Double pump. Oh, and that's a poor pass. He had his man just on a little hook pattern there. A little settle pattern, call it what you will, and he just put the ball too far towards the ground for Steve Kinnersley to be able to reel in. So 2nd and 10 after a more promising outing this time from the Steelers offense.
You can tweet us today using the hashtag BritBowl33. The tweets are coming in. We'll give you some of those as the game progresses.
2nd and 10. Varney now surveying the field. 2 receivers either side, and one of those from the top comes in motion, trying to set up this reverse, and they do give it on the reverse, but it's good lateral pursuit by the Thrashers. And Alua and a crowd of Thrashers once again snuff this one out.
Yeah, just nothing there. The design of the play is to try and create some misdirection, but even from up here we can see how the play's developing, so even the Solent Thrashes are able to track that one nice and easily, and at the moment they're dominating with this big defensive line.
We talked about outside contain on the Division 2 game earlier on today, but Alua is very, very disciplined, coming off the edge there, doesn't come in too early, double pump, Varney over the top, he's got a man, and the man catches the ball, he's at the 15, dragged down at the 10-yard line, and the Steelers are in business. Rowan Huggins had to reach back a little bit as that ball just got caught in the wind, but it had just enough on it from Varney to be able to pick up big yardage and put the Steelers in business.
Yeah, let's have a look at the replay. Varney under some pressure from Alua, but manages to get it away and splits 2 defenders. Huggins runs a perfect pattern, and that's the sort of thing Tristan Varney can do. He can punish you even when he's under pressure and even when the receiver has very small holes to work with.
So 1st down, they can get another 1st down without scoring. Chapaninet's up the middle again, and there's very little there, maybe 2 yards on the carry. But they've got to keep sticking with this ground game.
They have to keep the defence honest, Matt. You're absolutely right. But they are having poor success at the moment in the running game. It's all having to be done with Varney through the air.
But while Varney continues to be successful through the air, there is always that threat, and the Thrashers will have to respect that arm of his. So 2nd and 8. Maybe a long 7 looking at our screen. 2 receivers either side again for Varney, and likes to get this ball out of his hand quickly. Looking to try and keep a pair of eyes off on that motion. Zips to the corner, in fact it's into the post. Great coverage, blanket coverage there. Intended receiver once again was Rowan Huggins. Coverage.
Macy on the coverage and does a really nice job. So Varney goes to the end zone. Macy plays it absolutely perfectly. Got that back arm free as well, just in case he needs it.
So 3rd and 8 now. Lee French checks in. Does that mean a different set of personnel will bring a different look? Indeed it does. 2 running backs. Sort of a old-fashioned pro formation, but from the pistol for Varney. Varney looks one way, gives the other one to French, and French barrels his way close to a 1st down, and the pile come in. And eventually that pile collapses, but that's going to be very close to 1st and goal.
Sandwell finally finding their feet through the air, but now through the ground as well, as French wants to come off. Lee French wants to come off limping for a bit of a break.
It is 1st and goal. Yeah, French goes in for one play, picks up a 1st down, and it is 4th rather. It's 4th down. French is helped off 4th and inches. Does Varney just stick his head in here?
I think he will, if it depends what the defence give him. So if they have a defensive tackle over the centre, probably look to get something wide. But if they give him it, he can take it. He's a big quarterback, Varney, but he is in shotgun, so unlikely.
He's not going to be taking it from there. So 4th and inches, big play early in this game. 5 minutes left in the 1st quarter. Motion man comes again, he zips it across, and that is caught on the slant. Touchdown. Rowan Huggins, instrumental on that play, made the big chunk of yardage earlier on in the drive, and he finishes it, and now 1 point away from tying this one up.
Just great execution on the play, shotgun snap, and run the slant, and it's so difficult to defend if the offense get the timing right. Then Tristan Varney just zips that ball in there.
Tash suggested a shootout, and we're on the way. Looking very pleased with herself at the minute. Ball is up, snap, good. We have a tied ball game. The Sandwell Steelers 7, the Solent Thrashes 7 in this Division 1 bowl game from New River Stadium, White Hart Lane. Part of Brit Bowl 33 weekend here with Onside Productions.
Yeah, there's the quick touchdown. You can see from our sideline cam there to 29, who just does a really nice job, does Rowan Huggins. And it's fitting that he got that, because it was Varney that hit Huggins through the air to take them right into that red zone of Solent.
I'll tell you what, when you see a play like that, it's just dead easy, isn't it? 2-yard slant.
That's what it looks like when you've got a really good quarterback. And that's what Tristan Varney is. So, played against him, coached against him, very tricky character and very smart.
So, after the wobbly start by the Steelers, they grasp the momentum as the dark clouds come over. We have been threatened a little bit of rain here this afternoon. Hopefully the wind will keep that away. And let's see how the Thrashers can respond. Courtesy back deep to receive. Kick will reach his partner, and his partner is Peck, and Peck has a seam and he's past midfield. He makes one man miss. He's going to be close. The second man misses and he's dragged down. Oh, the ball is fumbled, and that is fumbled. Is it going to? I think they might suggest the ball ground caused the fumble. So
no. I don't think so, Matt. We'll have a look and see what they say. But I think that ball was live when it came out.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a huge decision. After a fantastic return by Greenfield, it was.
It was just a heads-up play by the two defenders, both of them going for the football. The first one missed it. Second defender comes over and has another go at it, and as he takes the runner to the ground, the ball does come out. The refs will have to think about this one. We could get a replay. We could have a look for you as well. I'm sure we'll get that teed up for you.
So
we're going to call it a touchback. The ball goes out the back of the end zone. So that return from Greenfield is going to be completely wiped off the board. It's just a fantastic coverage play by the Sandwell Steelers.
Also, Carl, there is a flag back here on the 35 as we see this again. Great work from Greenfield. Finds the seam.
Watch number 86 and 54. Sorry to interrupt, Matt. 54 is one that comes in and smartly rips the ball out. And there you can see it move to the end of the back of the end zone. And it's the Sandwell Steelers offense.
The result of the play is a forward fumble out of the back of the end zone. Therefore, that's a touchback. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting number 6 of Sandwell. I'm sorry, of the gray team. That'll be half the distance. The ball will be placed at the 10-yard line.
So, unsportsmanlike conduct against Merkelis Davidas.
Davidas on the field. Well, of the grey team. We're just going to go with colours now. I like that one. Is it the grey team? Well, the grey team are going to get the ball now.
They are, but they're going to be on the 10-yard line, which isn't as good as it could have been for them, but it's a lot better than where Solent could have been taken over. First and goal on the 3, so a real heads-up play.
Stuart Smith, I think, I'm just looking on the roster, I think it's 56. Stuart Smith is actually listed as an O-lineman, but showing great pace to get back there and make that tackle.
Electric all round. Davidas there, guilty of the unsportsmanlike conduct. He's been around a few teams
the
these
journeyman.
last couple of years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Caesars to the Giants.
Well, here he is in the national final.
Here he is indeed. Tristan Varney once again. Moves to the air, swings the ball out. Sensible play, but it's a nice block. It's another good block, and he still tries to find space around his receiver. Like the way that they're trying to swing that ball out wide away from that defensive end.
So although it's sorry, Matt.
Go.
So although it's a spread offense, they play a very controlled passing game. It's a lot of short passes into space, and that is Japananets. Again, we've seen him running, but he can also catch and run.
So 2nd and 3. Varney to the air again, swings it out, and it's that man Huggins, and Huggins breaks the first tackle, and he wrestles his way for first down yardage once again.
And this is what's frustrating for a defense. Even if you're playing well, the Sandwell Steelers plays very controlled offensive game where although they're throwing the ball, they're throwing it for short yardage, just taking what the defense gives them and playing smart and playing relatively risk-free football, even though it's through the air.
So here we go, first down Sandwell, and after the early dominance from the Thrashers, empty backfield now, so this one's going to the air. It's Huggins again, and that is a little screen out there to the left. It worked first time, it works again second time, a pickup of maybe 3.
It's interesting what Solent are doing defensively, because they're not actually lining on the boundary side of the field, the short side of the field. If they're going to double receivers, Sandwell, they're not bringing a defender out to kind of stand over the top of that receiver. So they're keeping men in the box, and we'll see how that little cat and mouse game of chess pans out. You can see it now to the bottom of your screen. No one over the slot receiver, just apexing. That linebacker just apexing.
And it's gone very dark here at the all of a sudden as Chepenninets gets the carry, picks up another yard or so. It'll be third down Steelers.
Tweets coming in. Craig Barnes says, well done at Rowan Huggins, a touchdown in 2 consecutive bowl games. Cheetah or Steeler getting it done. Keep your tweets coming. Hashtag BritBowl33. It'd be great to hear from you and see what you're making of this game.
So to the air again, and a big sack. Varney has to go down before he ended up getting clobbered by Murray, and that's a big play. The rain is on the way, we're told. Maybe 20 minutes until we get a little bit wet as well as a little bit blown away.
You could just see Alua there coming around the edge. He has tremendously quick hands as a defensive end. Very well coached, and he's been very impressive so far in this game, going up against that left tackle for Sandwell.
Big fourth down. Returner again will be buoyed with what they achieved last time, and this one bounces and it's now fumbled. And Gias picks the football up and runs 5 yards backwards before he's corralled. And the ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line, 43-yard line. And Gias, as you can see here, a bit of indecision, held up, bounced once, then he fumbled it once more, and then tried to escape the grasp of the returner, who is Huggins, once again doing it all.
Yeah, Rowan Huggins on unselfishly playing that kick coverage position, and that's typical of this Sandwell team. Do what they need to do to get the job done as the ball goes up the middle this time from Solent on first down. Decent gain on first down, gain of 6.
And the rain has arrived as the crowd in front of us alter their positions. Unfortunately, we can't do that.
I know.
So 2nd and 4 upcoming.
We've not got anyone holding brollies or anything.
We don't get looked after. We've got the boys in the studio downstairs. They're all nice and dry. As on 2nd down, Gias again looks for the left edge, but that's great lateral pursuit once again by the Steelers defense. Wow, Cole.
Well, these are the sacrifices we have to make.
I tell you. 3rd down and 3 upcoming. Division 1 bowl game, New River Stadium, White Hart Lane, London. Brick Bowl 33 weekend. Matt Walker, Carl Walkinshaw. And your commentary for this afternoon. Tied game here. Coming towards the end of the first quarter. Sawyers drops back to pass. He's got his man on a slant, but it's just out of the reach of Reed.
So interesting there that Solent come out in wishbone formation and then go to the pass on 3rd down. Threatening run, but they end up trying to get the completion on the slant. I guess we will see more of that formation as the game progresses. Solent only passing the ball when they absolutely have to.
If anybody's in the locality and wants to bring Kyle and I an umbrella or a tent or
trench coat,
anything like that, yeah, Alex is even worse than we are. Alex is on our camera up here next to us. He's only got t-shirt and shorts on. So anyway, 4th down for the Thrashers after a successful defensive stance, and that could be, is that delay of game? Oh, Carl, this is no good, is it, mate?
I don't know whether Football America can, or EP Sports can bring something over.
Well, you say it like they're listening to us.
Of course they are, man.
Is that official?
Prior to the snap, delay a game by the defense. Be a 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's huge. That is huge. Delay of game by the Steelers, which gives the Thrashers an automatic
that was a player
first down.
stationary, jumping up, trying to get the guy offside.
I need to bag my camera with the Saints bag in a minute.
So that was deemed to be a defensive player trying to make one of the linemen jump. And as a result, delayed the game itself. First down, Thrashers, and they can go to work again. 3 men in the backfield, and they go up top. That's way out of the reach.
Yeah, Solent with that wishbone formation again on that play, and they want to work that, but at the moment they're throwing from that formation. What they're doing is asking those Sandwell Steelers defenders to come up into the box and then trying to get over the top. We'll see whether they will actually run from wishbone as well. They're gonna stay in it for now.
Second down, 2nd and 10. Pitch this time to the right, and GS has to bounce outside, and there's a load of grey shirts coming towards him, and he's hit for a loss once again. This time number 26 for the Steelers, Rob Jones, with a big hit.
Good tacklers, the Steelers, well drilled, good tacklers, aggressive pursuit, and they tackle him for a loss. Absolutely nowhere for the runner to go on that one. Again, we're seeing some good defense as we did in the Div 1 final. In the Div 2 final earlier today. We're seeing it in the Div 1 final now. These defenses stepping up. Still in the first quarter, but must be close to the end now.
That clock on our screen is just a guide at the moment, so it is still first quarter action here, and GS this time goes the other side, and he does manage to pick up positive yardage on 2nd down.
So they've been threatening run from this. Someone's brought us, Tash has brought us brollies. What a miracle worker.
I've always said I do like Tash. I've always liked him.
So
I do feel a bit like George Lees now, though.
The first quarter.
And that is the end of the first quarter here in London. This Division 1 bowl game between the Sandwell Steelers and the Solent Thrashes is tied up at 7. If you want to get in touch with us here at Onside Productions on today's show, then the hashtag is BritBowl33. We'll try and bring you up to speed with all the contacts that you've been sending in.
We'll try and bring you up to date with some of the gameplay as well, not just the weather conditions here or the state of our equipment.
Oh dear. So we change ends here. Sean Sambati and his refereeing crew. All today's officials are members of the British American Football Referees Association, otherwise known as BAFA. For more information about becoming an American football referee, visit the BAFA website at www.bafra.info. And we thank all the crews who are working the 4 games this weekend. But here we go, 4th down again for the Thrashers. Threatening punt, and obviously they will be looking to pin the Steelers deep into their own end zone. Ball takes a bounce, and it is fielded at the 10-yard line. And number 86, Alex Salter, makes the first man miss, picks up 2 or 3 yards, and it'll be first down, Sandwell at their 16-yard line.
Confident return there. Geese had to run him out of bounds in the end. So Sandwell still not with great field position, and they've struggled with field position the whole game. But it's a fascinating encounter so far. We've had plays back and forth, momentum switching mid-play from Solent to Sandwell on that kick return that was forward fumble out of the end zone.
So here comes Varney and that Steelers offense once again, pitching to the right this time. And there's nowhere to go for Chirpin, and it's
good defence by McMillan, number 1 of that Solent defence on the edge there. We've seen some really good edge defending throughout this, the whole of the day today. And McMillan not letting his side down there.
2nd down and long, loss of 3 for Chirpaninets. Oh, and this time the defense do jump. Free play. Varney hits his man, and that is Salter once again. It was a free play, presumably for the defensive infringement.
Yeah, sorry, I was just taking up my poncho from my camera.
Here's the call from our official.
Offside. Defense, number 29. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
So instead of 2nd and 13, it'll be 2nd and 8.
That's Tickner, number 29, for the Solent Thrashes, who got called on that one.
So a little bit more manageable for the Sandwell offence and Varney. As conditions worsen here, and our producer is running around covering everything in plastic bags. 2nd down, Varney to the air this time. Pump fakes once. Now he feels the pressure and he takes off. He panicked a little bit there. He did have a little bit more time than he thought, but he did feel that pressure from the outside rush. And elected to took that ball and try and gain something positive, which actually he didn't. It's 3rd and 8.
Akpong there with the pressure, and Varney experienced enough to feel those footsteps behind him. Takes to his feet, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long. Varney normally good in these situations.
Well, those DBs playing relatively far off, and he looks to his left, then comes back and hits Salter. Another little bubble screen, and Salter's going to be short to the 1st down again, and that's great work by McMillan, linebacker for the Thrashers.
Yeah, it really is, because that looked like it was being set up really nicely for the 1st down yards, but they're going to be short again, and they're not close enough to midfield to go for this one. They won't want to risk it at a 7-7 game.
So we've seen glimpses of brilliance from both offences, but then we've seen both defences really stepping up as well. And obviously we mentioned the conditions. It's windy, the temperatures dropped, there is rain in the air, although it does seem to have blown over momentarily. Wild snap on the punt, but a good kick. And Gias fields it cleanly at his 36-yard line. Steps and almost breaks one. But there's a certain number 29 there once again for the Steelers. Have we heard of him?
Yeah, he's playing out of his skin, isn't he? Both on offense and defense. He's been a real difference maker
and
so
now
far.
Special teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
All-round
great
player.
tackle.
If you're interested, Jadeveon Clowney has just been traded to the Seahawks. If you're interested, if you're an NFL fan as well as a Brit Ball fan. Anyway, there's a little gem for you. That means Clowney will be going up against my Niners twice a year. Great. Anyway, back to this one. Division 1 here in London. 1st down for the Thrashers, and they hand the ball off. The power play on the left-hand side as a Steeler down. Carl, do we have anything on the Twitter sphere? Anything on the Twitter sphere while I've got this injury timeout? Hit us up at hashtag BritBall33 if you want to get involved.
Robert Moore's tweeted in, says, "Go Grey team." That's good. I think he means Solent.
If you, Robert Moore is the chairman of the Grey team of the Sandwell Steelers.
Edward Wise says, "Do the commentators know they're pronouncing Solent wrong every time?"
Well, I keep
we
saying,
just checked, and
well, I say Solent. You've been saying Solent.
Solent.
So one of us is right, one of us is wrong. I would argue...
We're going to consult the oracle that is Tash Crump at half-time.
I would argue that it's Solent and not Solent. Solent. Thank you. Once again, Walker is correct. Walkinshaws trying to be posh, failing miserably.
And I'm from the south as well.
And you are from the south.
Prior to snap, false start by the offense. They did not come to a complete stop before the snap. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
Did you expect this amount of penalties from these 4 teams we've seen today? To say they're the top of their game in their respective conferences and divisions? Is it just big game nerves, or...?
Part of the difference when you come to the national final like this is you have a full set of referees. And most of the, and they're spotting things you wouldn't necessarily spot in other games where you have skeleton squads.
Sawyer's hands off, and once again it's that man Bowley, and Bowley runs hard, keeps those legs churning all the way, bounces off tackles. That'll bring up 3rd down.
But yeah, it has been scrappy at times today, both in this game and the game earlier, Matt. You're quite right with the number of penalties, and it does break momentum for both teams.
offset formation. And this time the guards pull to the right, and Bowley goes that way, and he's patient again, and he's got a seam. He goes through that seam, scampers his way past the 30, past the 45, up to the 41 for another Thrashers first down.
Yeah, he is patient. If you watch the Sandwell Steelers blitz 6 players, but Bowley's so patient behind those blockers. Very smart runner, and he stays behind that block of number 64, which is Bloodworth. And it has to be Alex Roof that makes the tackle to save any more embarrassment on that run for Sandwell.
So first down Solent. Once again, Sawyers with an I formation this time. Man in motion is Reed. And this time Bowley gets the ball once again, and those jinking feet take him all the way into the 35, up to the 32-yard line, and close to another Thrashers first down.
Yeah, at the moment those pulling guards that Solent are using to great effect, and Bowley's just picking his way through the gaps that they're opening up, brings up second and short.
Part of the issue that Bowley's causing is his agility, his ability to just dance, and the defenders not know whether he's going to go left or right and change direction on a dime. This time offset to the right. Bowley this time counters back to the left, and he's got a big seam round to the left-hand side. Dragged down by number 18 for the Steelers, Andy Wilson, but not until Bowley picks up another Solent first down.
You see the blocking here. Sandwell Steelers are a very good defensive unit, and the blocking of Solent has been excellent today. That was a nice saving tackle from Andy Wilson, otherwise felt like Bowley was going to go off to the races down that left sideline.
First down Thrashers, 26 yards out from the Steelers end zone. High formation this time, and given to the fullback, and the fullback's got a big hole, and that's something that the Steelers haven't seen yet on this particular game, and that's big. Bain.
Play by Sawyer there. It's you'll see it fakes the pitch really well, and hands it off up the middle, and it's just that little bit of misdirection, that split-second hesitation from the defenders that creates the gap for that fullback to exploit.
Sam Busher and Dan Williams on the tackle. Second and short. Another new back in there for the Thrashers, and that's Davis. We've got initials of first names for the Solent Thrashers, but only surnames, so apologies if we can't bring you the first names of the players from the South Coast. Obviously, we're at the mercy of the teams and the information they provide us.
For those of you that have joined as well and you think it's the Kent Exiles that are playing in a Div 1 final, it's not. The jerseys had to be borrowed.
If you're not aware, Solent play in black, and black against grey is a lovely little floater pass over the top this time, but tracked very well and brought down short of a first down. Once again, that's Davies.
So Solent again, clever little play, nicely lofted ball over the head of number 74, and these little plays all add up to a lot of yards. Solent, really impressive drive so far. They're running out of wishbone, they're running out of I formation.
Justin Thomas, the D lineman, caught in no man's land there, couldn't do anything about that Sawyer's pass. It's 4th and inches. Hands off to the fullback once again, and he's got room. He's got lots of room, and it's going to be first and goal, Solent. As Bain once again, no messing around, north and south. Very effective.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
perfectly named Bain comes thrashing through the lines for these Thrashers.
Those fullback runs, really effective. Look at that, bang.
They are. Just that tackle miss there by number 54, who is Daniel Williams, just couldn't bring him to ground at the line.
Here you go. Oh, it's well sniffed out that time. Davis has nowhere to go off the right side. They lined up heavy to the left, tight end to the left, fullback to the left, and then Davis ran off towards right tackle. That was well defended by the Steelers.
The thing is, Adam Bates on the tackle on that one for the Sandwell Steelers does a nice job. Still second and goal, and they're right on the 10-yard line, so they have to get to the end zone. This is about as far back as you can be. I formation again, big heavy set, 2 tight ends in.
Here we go, to the air, to the corner. That's well defended that time. Receiver looking for a pass interference call, but maybe wanting to see if they call leverage on the DB as he climbed high to bat that ball down, but clutching at straws a little bit, the receiver.
Yeah, Gareth Thomas on the defence. You'll see it's really well defended by Gareth, who actually sees the ball before the receiver does and is ready to bat that one away. And when you have a running team that runs so well, it can sometimes take you off guard. With Gareth Thomas equal to the pass that time.
Third down again. Man comes in motion, sets up heavy to the left. And the runner again, Davis, getting all the work on this carry and stacked up close to the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal from the 9. So the Sandwell defence playing with this short field and playing very, very effectively now.
Yeah, really impressive from Sandwell. They defend that goal line with everything they've got. That steel curtain coming down. They're going to have to try and settle for this field goal. Last time they tried this, Sandwell blocked it. And again, they're overloading that left-hand side of the line.
So Elgeti on to attempt the field goal. Oh, and that's going to be a false start. False start. But there were, interestingly, no flags. No flags at all. And that was...
Well, was he off the line of scrimmage? I think he's slightly off the line of scrimmage. And therefore
bizarre.
Was motioning away from the play. And I think that's some kind of trick play that backfired on Solent by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Really not sure what happened then.
Well, whatever happened, it confused the Thrashers as much as it confused us.
It did.
And as a result, the Steelers, as a result, will take over. He's lined up off the line and then he moved backwards. So obviously that isn't a false start because he's moving away, as you said, Cole. Great call. So the Steelers...
But, I mean, thanks for the compliment, but I'm still not sure what went on in that play.
Well, nevertheless, it's first down. Varney this time with a back either side of him. Now one of those backs motions to the right, and he hands off to the remaining back, who does have a seam, runs hard, but there's going to be a flag for holding.
Steelers trying to get their own running game going in this one. 7-7. Both these teams playing well. We thought this would be a close one. It's turning into a defensive battle now at the beginning, towards the middle of this second quarter.
Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, number 72. Half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
It's Sam Banner guilty of the hold. Like you said as well, with a larger officiating crew, I mean, this holding goes on every play. It's just whether or not it's spotted, and with a larger officiating crew, obviously, those infringements are more likely to be spotted. So it's hard for these guys who, with smaller skeleton crews, as you mentioned earlier, running through the season, to get used to playing differently. As lovely pass from Varney and a great grab, and I think that's the man again, the man of the moment, Rowan Huggins. But is that going to be ruled a turnover?
Well, Emily Sang, number 21 for Solent Thrashes, came away with the football, and Solent were acting as if that man, the receiver, hadn't gone to ground. So let's have a look on the replay here. You can see great gunned in from Varney, and it's a great grab in the end, the back end of the football just being caught. But they stand their man up, does number 8. Now there's
I don't think it did, Did a whistle go?
And there's Sang with the ball.
That's close.
Interesting. No instant replay here.
So we're told the whistle did sound, which stops the play. Ball handed off, and the runner, who is Chepananets again, bounces off the first tackler, picks up a couple of yards. It'll be third down and 5. And like you said, that was a beautiful catch. Back end of the ball there by Huggins. Showing good skills. A big third down play, and the rain is back. Now Brolly's come to the rescue once again. Varney going back to the air in the rain. He pump fakes. He's got a man wide open, and it's hauled in, and that's a beautiful pass and catch. And that's Stephen Kinnersley past midfield into Thrashers territory, and there's a Thrasher down. And that's Ukpong.
You'll see it here, crossing pattern from the two receivers, and Varney sees it early that he's got his man open, and it's a beautifully lofted ball. It could have been just a little bit more in front of him, and I think number 8 there would have been off to the races.
So for all you potential receivers out there, though, great advert for receiving technique by Kinnersley. Watched that ball all the way into his hands. Didn't take his eyes off the field. Didn't take his eye off that football until he knew he'd got it secured. A lot of receivers in that position are eager to look downfield and take a first step. But Kinnersley managed to make sure he knew he'd get a big gain on it. And you're right, Carl, a little bit more on it and he could have been away from the defenders. But these are challenging conditions, and the fact that the ball was thrown as accurately as it was by Varney is a testament to him and his skill level. So here we go, first down. Steelers in business after holding the Thrashers on fourth down. Two receivers to the right. Back to pass again is Varney. Pump fakes once more, goes up top, and this one is going to be, he's looking to try and split the safeties. And once again, intended receiver was Alex Salter, and that was closer to the defensive back, Macy, than it was to his own receiver.
Varney getting more time now. Sandwell decided to double team Alua on every play now. They've brought a running back over to try and negate the pass rush of that big number 78 for Solent. So far having some success, and means Varney can work. If you can't get pressure on Varney, he will find ways to pick you apart.
2nd and 10. Steelers coming to the end of the second period of play, and that's well sniffed out. Jack Bradford amongst other Thrasher defenders.
Jack, the only man on the roster with his first name on the sheet.
I know, that's why I called him Jack. I wasn't guessing, but yeah. That's Chapaninets again. Tough sledding for this run game for the Steelers. But when you've got a weapon like Varney's arm, and you've got Kinnersley and Salter out there reeling in those passes, and you've always got a bit of a safety net. Kinnersley, his man's backed way off him here, close to the bottom of the screen, out of your shot. And he does go, and he looks up top, and there's a man wide open. It's a wobbly ball, but he's caught at the 10. He reverses field at the 5. No flags. There is now a flag, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be an illegal block. And I think, can't see whether that's 8 or 6. I think that's number 8. I think that's Stephen Kinnersley, the hero from 2 plays earlier, who's going to get called for a block in the back close to the goal line.
So Varney with a double play action here, and then sees his man
block in the
wide
back
open.
By the offense, number 8. There'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
You can see just as the referee's calling it, you could see it on the screen, the block in the back. Perfect timing by our replay production crew downstairs. And that means that ball's going to come back from the point where the block was made.
Which, to be fair to Sandwell, is still a fantastic play, but it takes points off the board.
It does.
Box on the snap.
But a great move by the receiver on catching that ball, sidestep back inside, and the defenders ran into each other. That's one for his highlight reel.
Great point you made earlier about the time that Varney's got now to be able to double play action as the ball comes off to the right side and manages to get the edge. New runner in the backfield is number 88. That's Austin Young.
Yeah, that adjustment. What you've seen from Sandwell is they're now putting 2 running backs either side of Varney, as we watch the replay here of that previous play. They're putting 2 running backs in the backfield, one either side of Varney, and then they're double teaming Alua on the edge, and that's just giving Varney the time he needs. So you're seeing that adjustment working now for the Sandwell Steelers. What can Solent do to free up Alua to get the pressure back on this quarterback?
2nd and 10, can get a first down without scoring here, the Steelers. Varney, man in motion is Salter. He's looking, now he's in trouble, he just pitches that ball away, and that's going to be called an incomplete pass. And again, smart from Varney.
Smart because he had Alua right in front of him there, ready to...
There was a receiver in the area.
And you know, from Varney's point of view, he'd already clocked that. He knew that that was going to be the call. Number 95 in for the Steelers, Chris Treacy, and he's in at running back alongside Varney. 2 receivers right, 2 left. There's a lot of space at the top of the screen there, and looking to try and set up another receiver screen to Salter, and that one doesn't come off that time. But I say, that's going to be 4th down now, and does head coach Petitjean go for 3, or does he keep his offense on the field? I think he keeps his offense on the field. And from where I'm looking, look at Huggins at the top of the screen just jogging out there. I think that slant is open, as it was on the previous scoring drive for the Sandwell Steelers. He looks that way. There is the slant, and it's in and out of the hands. Wet ball maybe, but you could see them setting that one up, and that should have been 6.
Yeah, great call, Matt. You saw it, and you're right, should have caught the ball. I mean, Hugo had a little bit of better coverage he did on the last one, less separation here, but as you say, so Tristan looks to his right, goes back to his left very quickly. There it is, and that should have been caught. There is a little bit of interference from the defender, but enough of an opportunity for a touchdown. Wonder if that will come to haunt them later on in this game.
I wonder, it does make me wonder, and I know you try and catch the ball however you can, but it makes me wonder when I see the hand position there of Huggins, and his hands were almost in a bit of a crocodile formation rather than making a basket low or high and one hand on top of the other. But as an ex-receiver myself, and you've got to try and get those hands in the right position, but that ball was where it should have been. Varney put it in a good spot for him. 1st down carry is good for 5 yards for the Thrashers, coming up to half-time. 3 minutes and change left in this one.
Great game, really enjoying this one, really into it, crowd really into it.
Britt Bolt 33, handoff once again. Up the middle, and he trips 3 yards before he hits the ground. And this time we've got Collins in at running back, number 20.
And it's turning into that classic run game of Solent versus the passing of Tristan Varney that we highlighted in our pre-game show, and we hoped it would turn out like this, and it is. But Solent have done a few things of their own through the air in key moments, and no doubt we'll come back to that.
Remember, coming up at half-time, we've got the Tash Crump half-time show. She'll be joined by the guys from X's and O's to review what's gone on so far. There's that fullback again, Bain with the carry, who picks up the 1st down, but there is a flag at the top of the screen, and now there's a flag coming out on the right of the screen as you look. So I would suggest that this one is coming back.
Prior snap, false start on the offense. The team did not get set before the snap. A 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Been guilty of that same penalty a couple of times now. So yeah, join Tash for the EP halftime show, the EP Sports halftime show. Tash will be hosting that and analysing all the action from the first half of this Div 1 game. So 3rd and 5 now as the ball, and it looks like trying to be a reverse, and there's some room out here. Makes first tackle a miss, he jumps through it, he stays on his feet. Oh, and 2 Steelers clash face masks, and that is going to be a 1st down. Great effort by Greenfield, fighting his way for a 1st down, and that's Greenfield, the man who, if you remember earlier in the game, took that punt return all the way back, only for the ball to be stripped at the 3 and go dead for a touchback.
You'll see on the replay here, it looks like Greenfield gets this reverse after his bobble snap, and right here it looks like he's got acres of space. 31, the defender for Sandwell, does a good job slowing him down.
2-minute warning exactly, 2 minutes.
And then defenders rally to the ball, but look at Greenfield fight for those extra yards, just drives his legs at the end there and gets over where he needs to be for that 1st down. And great play all round.
Not a big guy either, Greenfield, so great heart shown there. So we're at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes exactly left in this first half. Thrashers driving, and this is Gias, but there's another flag. Presumably as Gias gets rumbled back behind the original line of scrimmage. It looks like this one will be a hold against the Thrashers once again.
Wow, has anyone got a statistic on the amount of flags we're seeing in this first half?
There it is. Holding is the call. And at what point do the Thrashers kind of think, well, let's lick our wounds, let's put this one to bed, let's go in at half-time, make some adjustments?
Holding on the offense, number 76. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So first down once again. So first down, but way back now, close to their own 10-yard line. First and 20 from the 11-yard line, in fact. Sawyer's in the offense. I formation, traditional I formation. It's pitched out to the right, and GS again looks to try and cut this back upfield, but it's well stopped again by that Sandwell defensive front.
Well drilled Sandwell Steelers on the edge, playing it well. You can see the way Solent are trying to set up these pitches, pulling these guards and tackles, getting men to the point of attack. But Sandwell equal to it defensively, making it difficult for Solent to make any yards.
Remember, this game today is all part of the finale weekend of Brit Bowl 2019. It's the Brit Bowl 33. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, culminating in Tamworth versus the London Warriors in the Premiership final, as Gias again looks to reverse to his right-hand side. But there is nothing doing there, and that will be fourth down. Are Sandwell going to use any timeouts here, or are they just going to let the clock run? At the moment, the clock is running.
7-all, ball not in great field position. I think they'll just let the clock run, take what they've got.
I think there's an opportunity, though, for Sandwell to get one more possession here. You'd have thought. The clock continues to tick down to 40 seconds. Third down. Bain and Gias in the backfield once again. Tight end to the left as well. Big heavy set, and they counter off to the right, and Gias a little bit of daylight, and he's side down. And now I think Sandwell take time out, do they? I don't know, Carl. You know, you've got 3 timeouts. It was third down. You had a minute left. Would you not take a timeout on third down and then make that stop, take a second timeout, leave yourself with a bit more time and one more timeout?
Coach is waiting to know what's going to happen in that.
Sandwell.
Coach is waiting to see what happens.
That is the first timeout of the half. There is 13 seconds remaining. 13.
Our clock operating very accurate there. Just a few seconds off. Yeah, in answer to your question, Matt, I think what Maxwell Petterjohn's thinking is, if something happens on that series, if there's a turnover or there's a play which is to tackle for a loss, then yeah, he's going to call the timeout. But other than that, if he's calling timeouts not yet knowing whether Solent are going to make a first down or not, he's giving them an opportunity to march down the field. So
I can understand that.
Yeah, it's a
gamble one way or another, isn't it?
It is.
But I suppose when you've got a 7-all game and it's close to half time, this is the safe option.
Yeah, and why not be safe?
So it is fourth down. Maybe hope for a good punt return here as the Sandwell team there taking on Liquids. It's a skewed kick once again. It's going to take a Thrashers bounce, and they're just going to let this one bounce. Is Alex Salter, and with only a few ticks on the clock left, I can't imagine Varney in the offense will be too adventurous on this play.
Likely to see victory for me, just take a knee, go in at the half with a 7-7 game, have an opportunity to consolidate, talk about what's gone well, think about what's got not so well, and come back in the second half and play for this championship from an equal footing.
Another great crowd in here, Cole, although there's no take a knee formation here. They've got the 2 receivers. Maybe they will take a shot, and Varney is going to the air, but that doesn't end very well. And it's that man we've been mentioning all afternoon, Alua, who puts the final punctuation mark on the first half.
That's Alua's 3rd sack.
The end of the first half.
That's Alua's 3rd sack in the half. He's been a standout player. They've had to put 2 players on him and they still can't block him. 7-7 game, Matt. Very exciting. So far, I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
It's been a good one here in the first half. Sandwell 7 and Solent 7. We'll be back after these short messages where we'll have Tash down in the studio for the EP Sports halftime show. Join us then.
EP Sports brings you the UK's largest range of American football equipment, from helmets and shoulder pads to gloves and boots. They stock all the latest items from the biggest brands with great prices and fast shipping options all across Europe. What's more, EP have just launched their own teamwear range, allowing you to rep your programme in a huge range of garments from top suppliers. You can even set up your own team shop, and to kick things off, EP are offering up custom team polo shirts at just £10 a pop. To learn more, check out epsports.co.uk.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're watching this. Hope you have a great day. I hope this podcast has made you smile a little bit. I hope it's given you a bit more insight into what we do and why we do it. But yeah, just keep on listening and thank you.
Welcome back. It is Brit Bowl 33. It's the Sandwell Steelers versus the Solent Thrashes, and this is the EP Sports halftime show. I am joined by Tinks and Emeka from X's and O's podcast. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Enjoying the game.
It's a good game so far, isn't it?
Very good, yeah, very good. Very run heavy.
Yep.
But it's still a good game.
So, we had a bit of a chat before we started this. I was going to tell you a couple of things I want to bring up. First thing I want to bring up is that forced fumble and that kick return.
Boy.
Big heavy on the that.
Boy. It's a game changer. It's changing the game. It changed the game. We have a game now, Tash. I think what we have is a proper game where we're seeing two teams that are trying to slug it out and are taking it right to the wire. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to overtime. I think you're seeing Steve Rains with his fantastic run-heavy team. I think we'd expected that coming into this game. But we're seeing Sandwell. Sadly, strangely, we're seeing the DBs not coming out and showing their identity. The Legion of Swag, as we know them as. Yeah. They're not coming out with that identity. They look good. They look swaggered up. But what we want to see is more of that swag. I want to see a bit more of that intensity in the defensive end. So hopefully we're going to see that on both sides. But they know Steve Rains is going to be a run-heavy team. So it's a battle of the trenches. What I'm seeing is a battle of the trenches.
But at the same time, with that run-heavy, the Sandwell Steelers linebackers have stepped up. They have stepped up. I'm liking what I'm seeing from especially number 51.
Yeah.
51, he's one to watch.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we saw two scores in that first half. I mean, it was more like the first quarter was more of a warm-up for Sandwell. So they got theirs in the second. Obviously Solent coming straight out, making sure that Sandwell knew that they were here. And I said that it was going to be a bit of a shootout where I thought one was going to get one, the other was going to get one, and pretty much it would be a very high-scoring game. At the moment, 7-7, so not as high-scoring as what we thought. However, similar to you, overtime, reckon it's going to happen. What do, firstly, Sandwell need to do in this second half, like this second part of the game, to step it up?
We saw they had some success passing the ball, exploit that. We can see that the DBs on the Solent team are struggling to defend that deep ball. They've got the speed on the wide outs. I mean, use the slants. They're using that effectively. We saw glimpses of that. So I want to see more of that. I want to see them trying to stretch the field, stretch the game with passing, and let's take it from there. Solent, keep doing what they're doing. Keep pounding that ball. Keep pounding that ball. It will come. It came, and it will come again. So, yeah.
Sandwell, like you said, the Solent DBs, I said this in the pre-game, it's kind of the weak link. It's kind of the weak link. I feel like they could exploit that. They had a touch that was a certified touchdown, but the block in the back was just a silly mistake. I feel like they just need to get rid of these silly mistakes and be right back in this.
And we saw that with number 4 on the field goal attempt. Mental errors. They gotta cut out the mental errors. It's squeaky bum time. It's the final. You know, both teams deserve to be in the Prem. They showed that. I mean, the way they're playing is fantastic, but it's squeaky bum time. They gotta iron out the mistakes.
These aren't mistakes you can make in the Prem, and these are 2 Prem teams now. We're essentially watching a Prem game right now.
So I think that's the next thing I want to come on to, discipline. At the moment, neither team seems to have a lot of discipline. You can understand it sounds harsh, but from the Div 2 game, there was a lot of flags. We are seeing even more flags coming out of this game. Do you think the coaches right now in the locker room would be pretty much saying to them, stop it, cut it out, let's actually play some football?
I mean, in a game this close, that could be the difference between a win or a loss. I mean, that's what it is. It's a really, really close game. And
I know Steve Rains. Steve Rains will be telling Solent, calm it down, keep it relaxed. We know Sandwell have been here before. They've always reached the promised land before, so they're going to use their experience on their side. Solent are a bit of an inexperienced team in terms of being in the headlights and being in the big stage. So just keep it calm, keep it nice and composed, and just take it from there.
But I told you about that number 25, though.
No,
I told you about that number 25.
He came to play.
Yeah, he did. I mean, even against this really good linebacker core and a very good D-line as well. I'd like to see a bit more passing, to be honest.
Yeah. But do you think the weather's causing the problem?
I don't think the rain is heavy enough to... Especially, these are 2 Prem teams now. They've got to step it up. They've got to be able to play in all conditions. The rain isn't heavy enough yet for it to be like that.
Do you think as well, on top of that, so we talk about passing and we want to see more passing, but actually we've seen a lot of drops from the receivers. Do you think the coaches right now are going to be saying to the receivers the reason why we can't be passing it through the air is actually because of the fact that, you know, you're not catching it?
It's the mental errors. I think the mental errors are going to potentially cost them big time. Iron those out. It makes a difference.
And I think that's what these drops are. They're just mental errors. It's a big stage. They're in front of a big... It's a very big crowd out there. It's a very big crowd out there, a very loud crowd. So, you know, it's going to be nerve-wracking.
So, prediction for the final score. What are you thinking so far after seeing this?
I'm going to stick with 14-7.
To who?
Solent.
Okay.
Solent.
So you're going with Solent?
Solent.
Are you going with Solent?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
See, this is where I have my issues because I've lived in the West Midlands. I don't live there anymore, but I lived in the West Midlands for 5 years. I'm originally from Southampton.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I've trained a lot with some of the Sandwell guys. I know, so I'm like supporting them, and I know how well they can play, and they're not playing up to that standard right now. But I've got friends on the Solent team as well. I'm sticking in the middle right now. I want it to go to overtime, and to be fair, I kind of want it like to go right down to the line. Like that'll make it a great day. So you know.
I mean, the fans are buzzing. They probably want overtime. It's cold, but we're here. We're turning up. You can see the fans want it. We're in London. We're in North London. We're in North London, baby. But yeah, we're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Good food as well.
100%.
Good food. Good atmosphere. There's a lot going on here, man. There's a lot going on. But, you know, like I said, I want to see the Sandwell QB step into his throws more.
Okay,
he's leaning back in those throws.
We're looking at, so this is the TD.
Yep.
So, like what Matt and Carl were saying up in the booth, they were like, he literally number 25 is just splitting those defenders with how quick he is.
And he's been doing that all year. He's been doing that year in, year out. He's been one of the big time players because Steve Rains will run the ball all day if it's going to be effective. So he's not going to change that. And 25 is, you can see, is a workhorse.
The thing is, though, is Sandwell right now, are they basically cutting him out? Because like what we saw with the defence, what we were saying with like the linebackers and things like that, they know their game now and they know how quick he is. So do you reckon that they're cutting him out now?
Oh, they have to. They have to.
I definitely say they are. That's why Solent have had to change out their running backs. That's why they've had to switch things up. And those running backs are still doing a good job. They haven't got a really big running back, but you know, these other guys are still doing a good job of punching up the A gap.
They've got number 18 who showed us glimpses of what he can do. So they've got a good stable of running backs which you can use to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like number 25. I feel like we're gonna see a lot more from him though.
Okay,
I feel like
100%. Yeah.
So we're gonna look at so this is Sandwell's TD. So this was, and this is another one. So as you can see there, the Solent DBs, yes, they are around him, but actually they've let their receiver get past.
Yep.
And that is one thing that, as you know, as a DB, you should not be doing. You should not be letting your receiver past you with nobody else in the backfield to like make that backup tackle.
There's been a lot of errors from the Solent DBs. I feel like they haven't been physical either in the run game. So I don't want to call them out too much, but you know, they are looking like the weak link on the team right now. But we did see some good things from them, especially when Sandwell were in the red zone. We saw a couple of good pass defenders, a few good tackles, but overall, it's you know, like you just saw there.
And that's that experience coming out. I mean, in the final stages, you want that experience to really fire and really lead the team. And that's what we're seeing with Sandwell. They're not themselves, as we can clearly see, but I think keep their composure, keep calm. The game isn't over. It's got the game of two halves, and let's see what they can do next.
Well, the teams have started to come out already. I think that we are running. Are we running early at the moment? I think we're running early at the moment. Okay. So what we will do is we talked about. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're going to go to some ads now.
Keep going.
To loosen you up a bit.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Ad lib, I'm like, oh. Yeah. So X's and O's, how long's that been going for?
About 7 months, I think. 7 months. I think we did our first podcast. We did our first podcast about. I think overall, 2 years, you reckon? 2 years we've been a group of friends, and then I think the first podcast must come out about 7 months ago, right?
What made you want to do this, though?
We had a group chat for, you know, football related stuff. And then I can't remember how the podcast idea came out. Whose idea was the podcast?
Tash. Plain and simple. We love this game.
Yeah, there we go.
We love this game.
We've been moving up though.
And just being here today, for me personally, and seeing the crowd and seeing the enthusiasm. I mean, this is my first final.
Yeah, of course.
And this is amazing. I think all these players going to Europe, they don't need to go to Europe. Come here. Yeah. This is where it's going to be. This is where it's going to be happening in the UK. Let's get it started.
Yeah. I think, don't forget, follow us on Instagram at X's and O's Team. You can find us on YouTube, X's and O's. We do the Man on Madden series as well. Facebook, X's and O's. Twitter, X's and O's. We're everywhere. You can follow all our individual socials as well. You'll see us on the YouTube, Twitter, Insta, Facebook, all of that.
So
X's and O's at X's and O's Team. Follow us, like, subscribe, tell your friend to tell a friend.
Yeah, X's and O's to the world.
Carry on tweeting in #BritBowl33. We're going to head up to Matt and Carl right now, back in commentary. Teams are back out on the field. They're getting warmed up. Let's do this.
Peace.
We literally talked about everything, and I was just like, oh my God.
Great stuff, Tash. Thank you ever so much down there in the studio. Great to hear from the X and O's guys, and well done, Tash, for ad-libbing at the end there when you had to fill a little bit. Always difficult, but that was the EP Sports halftime show with Tash Crump. Really interesting one. Obviously, Tash and the guys mentioned about Bowley and obviously Huggins. They've been the two playmakers as far as I can see on the other side of the ball for both offences. Defence have come up strong and have squashed many an offensive drive, and actually for the second half, Carl, it's looking pretty bright over to our left.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. Thanks for bringing the jackets up, Matt, but we might not need them.
Well,
but yeah, we now have the equipment that we need should we require it. But yes, it's been a great first half, thoroughly enjoyable, good defensive football, good offensive football as well. But neither of these teams really, when they get into the red zone, are finding ways in which they can get into the end zone easily. Sandwell really strong, and they're defending 4 downs from their own 9-yard line and really forcing Solent after a good drive, not allowing Solent to get into the end zone. But equally, Solent also doing the same the other end of the field and stopping Tristan Varney's offensive-led attack from getting into the end zone. So both defences standing up strong during that first half in the red zone.
What are coaches saying at half-time? What's the message from Steve Rains to this Solent defence, let's say?
Well, the message from Steve Rains is that we have to continue to get pressure on Tristan Varney. He's the key to this offence. We saw that last year when Tristan Varney went down, and as a result, Sandwell couldn't get past Leicester. Tristan Varney is the difference maker. We can see him here warming up on the sideline. You can just see him going through a number of quarterback drills just to the bottom left of your screen. He is the difference maker of this Sandwell team. Alua has done a fantastic job. Number 78, been so impressed with him in terms of his size, his speed, his ability, his use of his hands is just fantastic. If you're a defensive end, watch the way Alua uses his hands and gets around the edge. They're having to double team him, Sandwell, and that's giving Varney time. Solent need to find a way to get Alua onto Varney as quickly as possible. I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe they run some stunts, maybe they run some additional blitzes, but we'll see how that pans out.
And from a Sandwell point of view, what is head coach Petitjean going to be saying to his defence about stopping Bowley?
It's a tricky one, that, because the Sandwell defence are playing really well. It's not like they're playing badly, but Bowley's in a different class when it comes to speed. He's been very, very impressive. Even when he's caught the line of scrimmage, he's making yards out of nothing. He's patient when he needs to be patient. He hits the afterburners when he needs to, and he's splitting defenders, even though they've got really good, pursuit lanes. I think it's just typical defense. If you're a DC, what you're saying is, we've got to get him into the ball. Let's see if we can strip the ball away from him. Let's see if we can hit him. Let's see if we can rattle him, so that he's not coming so hard at that line of scrimmage.
It was almost like that first series shocked and surprised the Steelers. 2 plays right at the beginning of the game, and Bowley's in for 6. They didn't quite know what to make of him.
Yes, you're right, Matt. They didn't know, and I don't think anyone would, because we hadn't been doing. They haven't seen. No. They'll have seen videotape, but it's very different when you see a guy in person. I've seen tape of Bowley, but when you see it in person and you're up close to it, it's speed is speed, and speed kills.
Absolutely. Well, this one is set up beautifully for the beginning of the second half. Even the weather, as I mentioned, is being kind to us now. It's 7 apiece between the Sandwell Steelers and the Solent Thrashes in the battle for supremacy in the Division 1 Brit Bowl final here. This is all part of our Brit Bowl 33 weekend of action on Onside Productions. We brought you the South Wales Warriors against the Bournemouth Bobcats earlier on, and South Wales ran out 13-0 victors and took the Div 2 South crown. We're obviously currently watching the Sandwell Steelers and the Solent Thrashes battle it out for Division 1. Tomorrow from 11:30 we are on air for a 12 o'clock kickoff for the Under-19 Championship between the East Kilbride Pirates and the London Blitz. That's sure to be a good one coming from the capital, and there'll be lots of support, no doubt, for the home team. It'll be interesting to see how many have made the journey down from north of the border. And then the big one, from 3:15 we are on air for our pre-game show, which will be then a 4 o'clock kickoff between the Tamworth Phoenix and the London Warriors. And once again, it's going to be a rather tasty crowd in here, I think, for the Warriors particularly. And I'm sure Tamworth fans travel very well as well. So it should be a fantastic atmosphere here. If you're around and you can join us, then do so. It's the New River Stadium here on White Hart Lane in North London. If you're unable to, we are streaming tomorrow on the usual channels, on YouTube and on our Facebook page, but also we are on the BBC Sport website tomorrow, streaming live on the BBC Sport website, both those games. It would be great if you could join us for that. Tell a friend of a friend, and get those friends to tell their friends, and then we can all have a big British football party at the end. You can also join us today and tomorrow by using the hashtag BritBowl33. And Carl, I know you've been keeping an eye on the tweets.
That's part of the great thing about this game, is the community that we're building, and having the final back here in London is a real treat. And we expect a big crowd to come out and support the Warriors, but also come out and support Tamworth.
It splits opinion, doesn't it, having it in London?
It does split opinion, but I think it's been so far a successful, very successful Brit Bowl here, and I am expecting big support for the Warriors. And it's the first time, I think, for 3-4 years, maybe even longer, since it's been in London. We'll get back to the tweets after the kickoff.
So here we go then, second half action about to get underway. The Thrashers will receive the second half kickoff, and they've got their 2 return men ready just outside their own 10-yard line, one of which is Courtesy, number 9, and they've been a miscommunication, and Courtesy still not secured the ball, and he does manage to fall on it eventually. But again, communication awful for the Thrashers at the start of that second half. there must be, you would have thought, in a situation like that, a sort of a rule about who's going to go for that football.
Communication really important, Matt, as you know. And the rule is you have to shout, my ball, my ball, my ball. And if you don't shout it, that's what ends up happening. Absolute chaos on the opening kickoff.
In all seriousness, what happens if both shout my ball, my ball, my ball?
Well, then one of them shouts louder than the other one.
Well, obviously on that particular occasion that didn't happen. So first down, Solent to start the second half, just inside their own 30-yard line at the 27. Trips to the left as quarterback Sawyers, effective in the first half, hits his receiver in the flats on another receiver screen. Seen plenty of those today, and that's Hewlett. Not mentioned him this afternoon, but he picks up 4 or 5 yards on first down.
We haven't seen many of those screens from Solent, though. I'm quite surprised that they're running that on first down. Steve Rains coming out being ever so creative, different formations, comes out with a spread attack to begin this second half. Haven't seen this. They've run wishbone, they've run I formation. Now we're seeing a bit of spread.
Second down. High snap, but Sawyers manages to field it and flips the ball out, and because of that bad snap, he ended up not really getting a good grip on the football, throwing off his back foot, and that falls incomplete.
Yep, it's going to bring up third and long.
So third down, maybe 6, long 6, short 7 for Sawyers. And if the Steelers can get a quick 3 and out here, that will really buoy them. They seem to be in the ascendancy a little bit at the end of that first half. Sawyers this time trips down to his right, but almost a stack formation down to his right, and there's a false start, and that's going to put the Thrashers in all sorts of trouble. That's Greenfield. Greenfield showed flashes of brilliance.
Snap, false start on the offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Greenfield showed flashes of brilliance in the first half, but they're not going to thank him for that one. So, third and long, 3rd and 11. Can Sawyers find an out to give himself another set of downs, or will it be kicked back to the Steelers, who will gain very good field position at the end of this one? Drops back to pass, goes up top. He's got a man out in front, and it's just out of the reach of that same man, Greenfield, and fair play to him for effort on that one.
Great coverage as well. This is a nice play all round, and just inches away from making the reception there was the receiver, number 80, who, as you say, is Greenfield. But he had that standout play, didn't he, at the beginning and towards the end of the first half, when he kind of picked his way for the first down, backed up in near his own end zone. But yeah, very close, that one.
4th down then, punt team out. Alex Salter back deep to return for the Steelers. Ooh, close to being blocked, that one, but Salter lets it bounce once and then fields it at his 36, and he finds a little bit of a seam. One man misses, and he's dragged down at halfway, and Sandwell will take over for their first possession of the second half.
Devidas coming in with a block on number 59 for Dransfield. Took the full force of a Devidas block on that return. No flag. So Sandwell take over with good field position here to start, and this is something they did not have at the beginning of the first half.
Can't believe the change in the weather within 40 minutes here in North London, but the weather gods are shining on us for this second half to see some good action. Varney out to his right hand side, hits the man in the flats, and that man picks up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, decent play, and this is what Varney does. We've seen it so many times, but getting out to the flat, taking whatever the defense gives you on first down, that's as good as a run. And when you've got a quarterback like Varney, it's like a long handoff. It's risk-free, and it just get a player into space.
Stephen Kinnersley on the reception. 2nd and 6. Back to the air. Another same play this side. Huffins this time secures the ball, then makes the first man miss, but he's dragged down after a pickup of 2 by the second man, who is Veach.
Josh Bradford does a good job there, coming up from his safety position, just sort of cornerback position rather, just to slow that receiver down. So minimal yards, just a yard gain. You can see Varney's game plan: get the ball into the flats, try and get it to these receivers. They've had less success running in the middle. Let's see what they do here.
3rd down, Varney and the offense. Twins to the left, twins to the right. Drops back, goes upstairs once again, looking for Huffin again, and Huffin hauls it in at the 10. He turns it to 5. No flags. Touchdown, Steelers. Wow. Outstanding.
Huggins, again, second touchdown of the day. He's just been amazing throughout the game. Tell us what you think of the touchdown.
Largest range of American football equipment from helmets and
But yes, hugely effective from Varney. Just a great play. And Alua was so close to Varney on that play, was bringing the pressure, number 78. We'll bring you a replay in a minute. But that just has opened this game wide open, Matt.
Wonderful concentration from Huffin there, close to the sideline, then has the presence of mind to cut back from the 10 as the kick is up. And for the first time this afternoon, the Sandwell Steelers have the lead over the Solent Thrashes, 14-7. And the weather has to make an impact, but that was a lovely throw once again for Varney, and he's shown the benefit of his accuracy and his experience. Here it is, Cole.
Here's the replay from Varney. You can see Alua just misses out from getting a piece of Varney. Beautiful ball up into the air. Great catch and concentration. Awareness, sideline awareness for Huggins there as he cuts it back inside for the touchdown. And Sandwell are leading this game.
What I really like about that reception, not only was he close to the sideline, but that ball came down over his outside shoulder. Yeah, so he's obviously turning away from the quarterback, outside shoulder, knows he's got a defender close to him who could lay the boom on him at any time, and then has the presence of mind to stay in bounds and then cut back in field and gain the remaining 10 yards for that score. Outstanding work by Huggins, and if you're giving MVP awards out at the moment, it's going to be close between Varney and Huggins.
Absolutely right, Matt.
Here we go then, kick-off. Once again, Solent will get another opportunity as this one is fielded by Greenfield just outside his 20-yard line. And he's snagged down very, very well. Great special teams effort that time. Struggling to see that number. Is that 26?
There's some big blocks going in. I'll tell you, these guys are ready for Premiership football. I think it was number 30, D. Gibbons from the Solent Thrashes came in and took the wind out of Alex Salter on that kick return. Some big hits going in. This, you might see the hits here actually. Just watch the number 86. There's the hit straight to ground, and it's good coverage in the end as we rejoin the live action.
And it was Rob Jones on the tacklers. Bowley gets the ball, first carry for the second half for him, and there you go. Picks up 4 or 5 yards on first down. Why get away from that? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Cole.
Absolutely right. And I think when they came out and run that spread offense at the beginning, you know, it sort of surprised everyone. Where you run the wishbone so well, you run the I formation so well, so why move away from it, Matt?
So second down and 6. You would think they'll try and use the talents of Bowley to get themselves back into this one. Maybe experimenting on that last drive. As in motion goes Reed. And here comes Bowley again off left tackle this time, and he's going to fall close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Defenders there just holding on to Bowley as he barrels his way through. He's not the biggest runner, is he? You've got a good look at him there. He's not the tallest, he's not the biggest, but he runs very hard. He's got quick feet, great awareness, and tremendous speed. Hopefully we'll get a chance to have another look at that.
Well, here we go then, 3rd and short. You'd expect them to run this to try and pick up that first down. Very close I formation this time. Bowley does manage to squeak his way through the middle, and that is first down Solent. Just such quick feet, Cole.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what that is. It's being patient when you need to be, and you can't teach a runner that. That has to come from experience, just doing it again and again. And I'll be interested to know what Bowley's athletic background was. You get some athletes where you just look at them and say, this guy just knows how to control his body, knows how to control his feet, and can read the pace of a game. Very impressive.
It's interesting because NFL scouts have often gone down that line of getting a specimen athlete, and what lets those guys down is the fact that they haven't got the football experience. As the Sawyers looks for Greenfield again down the left-hand side, and that falls incomplete. So yeah, you think of like Christian Okoye and Christian Wade, who's currently out with the Buffalo Bills, and those guys are immense athletes. And Christian Okoye, I know, was out with the 49ers at one point, and they just marvelled at this pure specimen who could move so fast and was so strong, but unfortunately didn't make an NFL roster because of the fact that he didn't have that football background. So anyway, 2nd and 10 for the Thrashers. And again, Bowley, once again, lovely little dancing feet, and he was just one tackle away from breaking that one. But at the end of the day, that's Gareth Thomas who brings him down.
Great block from number 74, Wing, on that play, just to free Bowley up for those additional yards. Can't take anything away from this Solent offensive line. Big 74 making a big impact on that play.
And this is a good response by Solent after going down to that score. You know, a nice sustained drive. Let's get Bowley working. Get him a little rhythm himself. Sawyers hasn't gone to the air just yet on this drive. He's not had to, because they've managed to get that ground game going effectively. Once again, I formation, Bain at fullback, Bowley behind there. This time he does go to the air. Oh, that's a backwards pass. So that is a live football. And Bowley does well to recognise that, land on it, cover it up. But a wayward pass from Sawyers that time.
Whoa, that's a huge loss there for these Thrashers. What Sandwell are doing is they're crowding that line of scrimmage at the point that they see the I formation in, and they manage to tip the football in Sawyer's hand, and then you've got a bunch of exiles just watching the play as the ball goes skidding away. They think it's incomplete. It's not. It's a live ball. Well done, Bowley, for jumping on it.
So 4th down. Sandwell definitely asserting their dominance at the beginning of this game. They look very shaky, but they've overcome their early nerves, and now they have the opportunity, although there's a flag come out there, and it's Davidas again. Davidas Merkulis, who's going to get called for either running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. I think it's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty. It's going to be the full 15, and that will be an automatic 1st down.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 6. That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
And that is Davidas, who gives the Thrashers an automatic 1st down, and he will no doubt be spoken to on the sideline by his coaches. I just see him backing away from head coach Petitjean. Other Sandwell Steelers players talking to him. But that's not what you need when your defence has worked as hard as they have to get a potent offence off the field, Cole.
Really hurts the team, that sort of penalty. Unnecessary. We know players trying to make plays, but that's a real killer blow, given the game is so tight, and it means Solent stay in this one. Stay on the field and on this drive.
So 1st down. Solent have new life on this drive. 46-yard line. Pass complete to Greenfield, who just about eludes the first tackler, but then, and still on his feet, up past the 50-yard line into Sandwell territory. It's going to be 2nd and 3 at the Sandwell 47.
Greenfield is a handful, isn't he? Nothing wrong with the coverage. Peter Roden does a good job, but it's just not, you know, Green makes the play, Greenfield makes the play, and it's very difficult actually for Roden to even slow him down. Hell of a player so far, enjoyed watching him.
All round, it's been a good game. There's been storylines and matchups all the way around, as this time Bowley is on his own in the backfield, and therefore the ball is going to the air, and that one is just out of the reach. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Intended receiver was Courtesy. He came in on the slant, and Sawyers threw basically on a bit of an out pattern, whether it was meant to be a comeback to the outside rather than that slant, but nevertheless, that's going to be 3rd and 4. And we've obviously, if you want to get in touch with us, you can all afternoon and all day tomorrow on the Twitter sphere. The hashtag is at hashtag BritBowl33. What you got, Cole?
Eric Miller tweets in, says lots of laundry on the field, lots of mental mistakes being made. Both sides really need to clean up this game.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think.
Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd down as Sawyers goes to the air, and he's gone upstairs again, and that's out of the reach of Greenfield, and that's a questionable call for me on 3rd and short. This position in the game, where you are with the field position, and you've got Bowley running as effectively as he is.
They're trying to exploit the fact that the Sandwell Steelers are crowding that line of scrimmage, but they're not. The defensive backs for Sandwell are so well drilled, and they're such a good unit. They really are very, very strong, that they're matching these receivers pace by pace, foot by foot, and so even though they're close to the line of scrimmage, they're managing to get back and defend these long, deep passes.
So here we go then. Punter out again for the Thrashers, hoping to pin the Steelers back. Returner standing at the 15-yard line. High snap, which Hewlett does manage to take, and this one squirts out of bounds at the 25-yard line, where it'll be Steelers ball, first down. 8 minutes left in the third quarter here.
That was an important drive for Solent to do something, and Sandwell obviously defended that well and got the ball back. They will be keen. This drive for Sandwell's a critical one offensively. They will want to come down the field and score and put this game away. It's now up to Solent, and those defensive backs really need to step up and make sure that they can defend these passes.
Last three Division 1 champions. Leicester Falcons beat the Kent Exiles last year, 36-29. The Manchester Titans the year before that, beating the Olympians 46-23. And the Bury Saints in 2016 over the Edinburgh Wolves. As the ball is handed off, and that's a good run on first down, but the ball appears to have come out, and the Thrashers sideline is bouncing, and indeed, turnover, first down, Solent.
We talked about how important this drive was for the Sandwell Steelers. The fact that they would want to come out and consolidate their lead 14-7. But immediately Solent get the turnover, and it's right back, the momentum's now right back with Solent.
So, turnovers win ball games. Turnovers generate momentum. You can see the buoyancy from that far sideline. Incidentally, those of you just joining us, this is the Solent Thrashers and not the Kent Exiles. There was a clash of kits, Solent playing black and obviously Sandwell in grey. And the Britball community came to help out as Sawyers hits his man, who breaks the first tackle, spins out of the second tackle, and is dragged down close to first down yardage. That's Pascoe on the reception. So yes, this is the Solent Thrashers, but in the uniforms of the Kent Exiles, who very, very generously offered their services.
Uncharacteristic missed tackle there. You just see it here. Normally that tackle is made 90% of the time, but it's Gareth Thomas that misses it, and it gives that receiver, Jay Pascoe, some more room to work with.
Second and short. Different back again. Bowley takes a break, and the back who comes in is Davis, and Davis is going to get a first down, but it's going to come back. More laundry on the floor.
Another holding penalty by the looks of things, Matt.
Holding on the offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So once again, indiscipline spoils a potentially profitable drive for the Thrashers. Let's see whether they can bounce back from that. The fortunate thing was that was going to be second and short. Now it remains second and 12. Can Sawyers find a way through? Drops back, looks, swings the ball out to Davis. Davis is upended immediately as he makes the reception.
Yeah, Stephen Kinnersley coming in, actually playing some DB there and making the tackle. And he just saw that from so far away, did Kinnersley, that came in like a laser. And I could see him coming in. You'll see on your screen, they try and get the ball out into the flat. And initially it looks like there is some room, but here he comes and takes his man down. And he was obviously the designated player to make sure that that wasn't getting anywhere. It might be number 18 actually, which is Andy Wilson, Andy Wilson making the tackle.
Very hard sometimes to distinguish these numbers from the Steelers. Well dragged in by Sawyers, and that one's pitched up and it's intercepted. So a tipped ball at the line of scrimmage, and this one gets picked. And it is 26, Rob Jones, who's the man on the spot. And just as the Steelers were guilty of turning the ball over 3 or 4 minutes ago, comes full circle, Carl.
Rob Jones has been a long-time player on this Sandwell Steelers, been with the team. We saw him last year. This is a nice tip. That's why they're crowding the line of scrimmage. Rob Jones sees it, drives on the football, and then drives for the end zone. It's a saving tackle of number 86, who is M. Hewlett, who just has to save embarrassment.
So Varney gets out to Huggins, and Huggins drags 2-3 defenders with him, picks up 6 yards. 2nd and 6, and the Steelers are rolling once again. Good game again, Cole. We've had 2 good ones, even though this morning was 13-0, and it seems a shutout. You sometimes imagine whether a shutout would have been a good game, but it was back and forth, and this one's no different.
Turnovers going back and forth as well. Solent get the turnover on that first down after Sandwell's touchdown, and then Sandwell come back with a pick. It's very equal in all facets of the game, special teams, defence and offence, which makes it fascinating.
You don't necessarily think Solent are out of this by any stretch. We mentioned this morning at 7-0, Bournemouth hung around for a long time, and running back this time, Zach Green. I think that's 17 in there.
Mins on the tackle there for Solent. Makes a nice play, just a little bit of hesitation. The back runs into his own man, and then Mins is right there to pull him down for a stop at the line of scrimmage.
I tell you what, number 13, Lee French, has come off hobbling again. He's been on a couple of plays and seems to last a couple, and then hobbles off with a bit of an issue with his lower leg. But nevertheless, 3rd and short for Varney. Varney flings the ball out. Reception made out in the flats. Makes the first man miss, and does very well to get across 1st down yardage, does Austin Young. And the chains will move again for the Steelers.
They drill that so much, the Steelers. These little balls out into the flat. I don't know what the stats are. If someone can tell me how many yards Tristan Varney makes by throwing the ball into the flats, I'd be fascinated to know. Again, very safe pass. Zips the ball out there. Long handoff with blockers in front. 29 does a good job. And then just tiptoeing down the sideline, back inside, getting as much yards as you can. Just squeeze out those inches.
1st down, Sandwell. Here comes Austin Young in motion. Oh, and that is going to go out of bounds. Now, that has been signalled as a backward pass. So where that's gone out of bounds, that is where the next play will begin. It was a backward pass indeed. It looked like Varney was about to toss it out there, and then saw that was probably defended and tried to cling back onto it, but it was too late.
Yeah, we'll see if we can see something on the replay, but it just looked like Varney had stickum on his hands or something, didn't it? Because as the ball's released, it just comes out very awkwardly and just seems to stick to the top of his fingers and spins its way out of bounds.
So, 2nd and it's over 20. Could be 21, 22 in fact. 2nd and 21 from where that 2nd down marker is. You can see in the centre of your screen. And very much like this morning, teams not able to get a lot of rhythm going, sustained drives, and that's an issue at the moment. Whether in favour again though. Varney this time, it's that man again, it's your man again.
It's Alua. My goodness, is he having a heck of a game in this national final. Driven them way back now. It's going to be 3rd down and a taxi ride after that sack from Alua. That must be his 3rd or 4th sack of the game. You can just see him coming off the edge here. See the way he works his hands underneath the chin, and then as Varney tries to escape, that's just great bull rush technique. I've seen bull rush technique from him. I've seen him use his hands up top and bat the tackle's hands down. He's a hell of a player, Matt.
Poor Sam Banner there on the outside has got his hands full, and he's going to try again. Little screen pass set up this time. Great play. Great play, and I've just paused as I saw a flag come out close to the quarterback, and that could be another penalty against the Steelers. I didn't see any illegal hit on the quarterback.
His 3rd. I mean, it's Tickner coming in there, number 29, to make the play on the screen. We'll get you a call from the referee in terms of the flag in just a second. But great defending from these Solent Thrashes on 2 consecutive plays, the sack and then the tackle. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 78. 15-yard penalty will be tacked on, automatic 1st down.
Wow, Carl. So your man, here we go, let's have a look.
We're just watching on the replay here. It's off screen, but it looks like what's happened is there's a little altercation between Alua and the offensive tackle for Sandwell. The Sandwell offensive tackle went to ground, and then Alua, I guess, must have retaliated, and that's what's got called.
And a break for the Steelers, because 3rd and a mile now becomes 1st down, and
wow.
Alua knocked the quarterback back a play before that and then has given it all back. So he'll be out to prove himself again as Chepaninets goes in motion out to the right. Here's a little screen to that man. It's well played, no flag on that block, and that's well executed, and that's going to be another Steelers first down. Alex Salter with the reception on the far sideline.
And the reason this play works is it's empty set, so there are additional blockers out there. That looked like a block in the back to me. It's not called by the referee. Well, there is a flag now on the play, but doesn't look like it was in that sort of area. But we'll see what the flag is. Tristan Varney still having success in the flats.
You wonder if that flag is for something that was said by the Thrashers about the fact that that block in the back wasn't called. Here we go, let's have a listen.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 of the defense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. First down.
The Thrashers are imploding a little on this drive.
It's just frustration, I think, creeping in, and there was no need for it. They had them backed up, 3rd and a mile, nowhere, no chance for Sandwell on this series. The penalty from Alua and now the penalty from McMillan, and it's just put Sandwell in a fantastic position to consolidate their lead. Let's see what Solent can do in their own red zone.
First down, just outside the red zone, and you've got to think Huggins is lined up here again. That slant isn't on right now, but you've got to think it may well be in a few plays down. As Chepaninets takes the carry on first down, picks up 4. 2nd and 6.
So into the red zone now come Sandwell. Solent have been really tough in the red zone defensively. They now need to defend this goal line with everything they've got. They can't afford to give up another touchdown. Touchdowns are so difficult to come by in both these games today, but particularly in this one. Even yards are hard to come by, let alone touchdowns, Matt.
You kind of feel that 21-7 ahead would be a nail in the coffin of the team from the South Coast. Varney looks up top, looks to the right, and throws behind his receiver. A little bit of missed timing on that one again. It'll be 3rd and 6. 3 minutes go in the third period here. Another good one, as all bowl games hopefully should be. When you get to this stage, you hopefully get the cream of the crop from each division. I asked you in fact, Carl, during the pre-game whether the dominance of the Sandwell Steelers in their division is reflective of their dominance or reflective of a weak division, but at this stage it would appear that it is as on paper, as Varney drops back again, pumps, now comes over to the corner, looking for his intended receiver, struggling to get a number there just because of the way he's walking. We'll get you that shortly, but Varney taps his chest as if to say that's on me, and it's Huggins he was looking for again. But yeah, Varney does walk away saying that one's on me.
Yeah, and I'm not one to argue with him. I'm sure it was, on him. I think Huggins was thinking he's running a pattern to the post, but Varney wanted him to come back to the flag, just on a comeback and catch that for the easy first down. Sandwell looking to get on the board with a field goal, Matt.
So can Gavin Lawrence add a 3? And it looks long enough, but it appears to be wide to the left as the Steelers look at it. So, if you believe in justice, I suppose that's quite a just outcome as far as that particular drive is concerned, because although the Steelers moved the ball, it was more down to the indiscipline of the Thrashers.
Yeah, I don't want to see the game won or lost on a penalty. No one wants to see that. You want to see these two teams battle it out, and as you said a number of times, win a game on a play of inspiration. I love that phrase. That's what you want to see as a crowd. And so when the penalties come up, it's disappointed, especially given that we want to see a close game if you're impartial, as we are up here. Over to you, Matt.
Here's that very tight I formation again, and trying to get Bowley working again. And you see, as much as Sandwell have been effective in stopping that, Bowley is still picking up yards. To go away from that too much seems odd to me. You don't want to run him into the ground, but he is 6 yards on first down right there.
What we're not seeing, which we saw earlier, is repetitive play calling, like calling the same play consecutively. I like what Solent are doing in terms of mixing up the formations, mixing up different looks, putting players in motion as they are here. Let's see what this one brings.
Bowley once again on second down. He picks up a couple more, but he is stopped short. So that will be third down, the next opportunity. And again, third and short. Do you really feel that they need to pick up a first down at this particular juncture? As the sun now streams into...
end of the third quarter.
The sun streams into New River Stadium here in North London. And at the end of the third period, Sandwell maintained the lead 14-7 over the Solent Thrashes. Brit Bowl 33 weekend here with Onside Productions. For the culmination of this game, we will head back down to the studio, and Tash will give us our EP Sports post-game show rather. Look at that car, that's a beautiful picture. Anyway, what do you got on Twitter?
Ian says, why are Solent wearing Exiles jerseys?
We'll go one more time. How long ago was that? Have I explained
6 minutes ago.
6 minutes. There was a clash of jersey colours.
Welcome to the game, Ian, by the way.
Thanks for joining us. Solent generally playing black, and obviously the dark grey of the Steelers was deemed too similar. As a result, the Thrashers were asked to provide an alternative uniform, and they struggled and reached out to the Brit Bowl community. A number of teams, including the Northumberland Vikings and the Leicester Falcons, offered their services, and the Kent Exiles also did so, and that is the reason that Kent are in this Brit Bowl final. They're not in the Brit Bowl final, but their jerseys are. So Steve Rains, coach of the Thrashers, when speaking to you before the game, obviously
prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 63. A 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Steve Rains expressed his thanks to all the Brit Bowl community, and in particular the Kent Exiles, for providing those jerseys. So it's as simple as that. But I know it's something that Coach Rains wasn't overly pleased about. So third down after the penalty. Let's see whether or not they can convert. Third and short now becomes third and long, 3rd and 7. Sawyers with 2 receivers out to his right. He's gone up top. That's picked off once again. And it's not only picked off, but it's returned back towards the 25-yard line. And the recipient of that interception is Gareth Thomas.
Gareth Thomas doing a great job, turned into the receiver, knew that he had better position on that football than the Solent receiver, and therefore made a fantastic play on the ball. And another turnover to the Sandwell Steelers, just killing these Solent Thrashers. Sawyer doesn't really look, puts the ball up, and Gareth Thomas, like I say, makes a great catch, almost a receiver's reception there, Matt, over his left shoulder. Great catch.
It's kind of as well. I mean, if you think back, Solent had the ball 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
The penalty then sends them back to 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
The 3rd and 3 manageable. Open that playbook up, and then you're clutching at straws. Oh wow! Great penetration once again, and this time on the tackle, coming through strong is Barnes. Sorry, Ramsey Linton. J. Ramsey Linton. Roster just got a little skew whiffy there.
Yeah, he's come through from that middle linebacker position that he plays on a blitz, and he just blitzed straight into the hole that they were trying to get the running back into. Fantastic defensive play that time by a downhill linebacker, big linebacker as well, is Linton.
Second down, flips the ball out to the left, does Varney. And the receiver manages to pick up 6 yards or so, and then his mates come in to push the pile to bring up 3rd and medium. It's going to be about 7. But it's a good effort after the catch that time.
Yeah, and again, it's what you're seeing is just the management of this game by Varney and this offense, getting the plays out to the sideline and just allowing these receivers to work in space, put their head down when they need to, and make sure that they can make as many yards as they can. 3rd and medium now, 3rd and 7. You'd expect Varney to go to the air on this one.
Huggins leaving the field on this crucial 3rd down. Varney does go to the air, pump fakes, then puts the ball over the top, and that's a nice double move, which is caught inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Steelers.
Varney does a great job with the double fake on that one, with the pump fake, just to send his receiver initially. It just freezes that defender, and then he sends the receiver deep. And that's a beautiful play to take them right inside the 5-yard line, all the way down to the 4, as you said, Matt.
So 1st and goal. Here's that play again. Lovely double move by the receiver. The pump fake gets the receiver into position behind the DB, and if anything, again, Varney slightly underthrows that one. The receiver having to wait for it, but successful. 1st and goal. The Steelers knocking on the door. Motion man coming. DBs wave it off. There's that slant pattern again, and dangerously the coverage much better on that one. Intended receiver looked like Austin Young over there.
Ramsey Linton, that time, number 53, you just see him in your screen playing that middle linebacker position. We called his name earlier on the run blitz. A big guy. If he can get into that passing lane, he's big enough not only to get in the way of Tristan Varney's view of the receiver, but also to cause some disruption. Let's see how that plays out. See if they're going to get him into that sort of area.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers. Varney doesn't like what he sees and calls timeout. So, once again, thank you for joining us. If you're listening to my voice, then you are joining us, which is great to have you on board.
Steelers.
If you've been on the stream all day long,
First time out.
then you will have seen the South Wales Warriors defeat the Bournemouth Bobcats in the Division 2 South bowl game.
13 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. 13-08.
Bowl game this morning, Division 2 bowl game. The Warriors, South Wales Warriors over the Bournemouth Bobcats, and currently we're experiencing the Sandwell Steelers on top of the Solent Thrashes. Get involved here with us at the show at Onside Productions, hashtag BritBowl33. You've been tweeting in your droves so far. We've got the guys from X's and O's down here. There was a podcast done, the pre-game show, you may have seen that. Then during our EP Sports halftime show, Tash Crump and the guys were discussing the events of the first half, and indeed they will do similar in the post-game show. So let's see whether Varney and the offense now from that empty set formation. Varney now has 2 backs behind him, split either side, and it's a low snap, and all he can do is drop on that. And again, poor execution close to the goal line, costing the Steelers here.
Well, we've seen it so many times. I think this is the 3rd time that Steelers have found themselves close to the goal line in the red zone and then finding themselves going backwards. Tough defense, but also mistakes aren't going to help you, especially in the red zone.
You kind of feel that any score, whether 3 or 7, would maybe put the Steelers out of sight with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Do they have the confidence in their kicker, or will they go for this on 4th down? Varney this time with that empty backfield again. 5 receivers, man in the corner, going to be close, but the ball, if I'm honest, was behind the receiver, looking for a little bit of interference. But there's been a couple of times there where Varney has put that ball short of his receiver and they've had to wait for it. Another example there.
Some pressure off the edge this time to the Thrashers, and Varney has to get rid of it, and Josh Bradford is equal to that one, making a really nice play on the ball to defend that slant. When the receiver turned his head, you saw Josh Bradford turn his head at the same time and defends it really well. Nice play. 4th down, critical play for both teams.
Huggins, the intended receiver, once again, and again empty backfield, 5 receivers, similar formation, and now Varney drags the receivers in. His running back gets into his familiar spot, and it's pitched out to Chirpanins. And Chirpanins, very interesting call really there on 4th down. Not really an attacking, aggressive play. More very conservative, not really going to get through from that level, and therefore settling for this 7-point lead rather than looking to add to it, Cole.
Strange call on 4th down. You have a spread offense, you have no one in the backfield, 5 receivers out for Varney. They've had some success with that. They changed the formation and they run the ball, and Mazzoni was all over that, number 57. Barnes was coming in making tackles. There were so many linebackers ready to defend that it's a turnover on downs, and it's back to Solent. They've got a chance now to get back into the game, but they've got to have to take it here, Matt.
Still 12 minutes remaining. New quarterback, Hugo, in at quarterback. In fact, my mistake. It is a new quarterback, but it's Marder. It's 18 rather than number 8. Marder coming in at quarterback. So, have we seen the last of Sawyers this afternoon? Is Coach Rains going deep in his strategy, trying to mix things up a little bit, give the Steelers a bit of a different look to what they're used to? Didn't work on first down. Let's see if they have any more success with Marder on second down. Big number 74 lined up in the slot. Interesting there is Wing out in the slot. He was out there. He was out there obviously to block, and I think that ball looks like it was on the ground for a moment. And then number 86 ended up picking it up.
Yeah, 74 out to block. You're absolutely right, Matt. The initial handoff was to Greenfield, then it was stripped out of Greenfield's hands, and Hewlett has to pick it up and make some yards. But in the end, I mean, creative offense we're seeing, aren't we, from Solent? But an odd play call nonetheless at this point in the game, when you'd think you'd go back to what works well. You've got to drive the ball down the field. Why introduce something new here?
So injured Steeler down on the floor currently. 11:53 left in this Division 1 game in North London here. Brit Bowl 33 weekend. Onside Productions. Fantastic crowd out here. You can get in touch with us by hitting the hashtag Brit Bowl 33. I say great crowd today. We're expecting an even bigger crowd tomorrow. If you're currently watching at home and you're tweeting in like so many are, Carl, what we got?
Got a O'Beefy says this is the only way the Kent Exiles will be seeing a bowl game.
Youch.
Stuart Perry says, come on you Steelers. Andrew McIntosh with a bit more information on that. The Exiles tops were worn by the Pirates in the 2009 Division 1 final. Have the Exiles tops been in more finals than the team themselves?
Oh, there's it. That'd be great.
There you go.
If you know the answer to that,
yeah,
then,
tweet us in.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Do we know how many times the Kent Exiles jerseys have been worn in a final?
And is it more times than the team itself? So, 3rd and 7 after that fumble and alert play by Hewlett. Marder still at quarterback. That big 74 is out the far side, and here comes Greenfield. And Greenfield, this time, in and out of the hands, and that was definitely a case of footsteps. He took his eyes off the ball, did curtsy, eyes off the ball, knew there was going to be a defender there, and unfortunately, that's the result.
Yeah, watch number 9's eyes. Look, the little head move. That gives it away, doesn't it? Whenever you see that little head move upfield, you know that the receiver's not yet secured the football.
So whatever experiment Coach Rains was looking to with Marder in at quarterback. Marder in at quarterback, L. Marder. Not effective on his first outing. And the Steelers could be getting very good field position on this one. Kick bounces at the 40-yard line, takes a Solent bounce again, but it is down at the 44. And the Steelers take over with Varney coming out to lead his troops once again inside Solent territory. What does Solent need to do? 11 minutes left. What has Solent got to do at this point, Cole?
Well, they need the ball back to start with, and they need to not be experimenting with plays. I mean, maybe that's worked at another point in time in the season. They've come on, they've run a series of plays, and it's worked. But it's not working here against a very good Sandwell Steelers defence. So, number 1, they need the ball back. And number 2, give it to Bowley. Let's see what he can do. Can he work some magic up the field? Let's get that run game going, which is what they're good at.
Before they can think about that, they've got to get this Steeler offence back off the field. Varney with 2 backs behind him. Oh, and that's a broken play. That's a broken play right there. Chapananets goes back to Varney, basically saying, what was the call? Was that meant to be for me? Varney turns round, maybe expresses a little concern in his helmet and does nothing more than eats the ball and drops to the floor.
He knows 78 is not far away. If he's going to be standing there in the backfield, he just says, I'm not having any piece of this, I'm not turning my back away again. I'll just drop to the floor and go with another play. 2nd and 18 this time.
So 2nd and 17, 18 upcoming. Varney, you would think, going to the air this time maybe. He drops back and look, that's just a hopeful ball. But in a hopeful ball, Alex Salter wasn't far away. But I tell you what, Alua and his mates weren't far away from Varney either.
Bradford again, not with bad coverage. You'll see it here. It's step for step. He's got half a yard on him. Has Alex Salter, half a yard on Josh Bradford. Could have been a touchdown, but again, that pressure from Solent doing enough to throw Varney off his stride. Not able to step up, and so it's a short ball.
So both these teams are going to be in the Prem next year. What have you seen so far to suggest that they'll survive? Third down. Ball again, a run play this time, and it goes out to Austin Young, and that won't be enough for a first down. Go for it, Cole. Do you think we've seen Leicester sort of on a bit of elastic this year? They went up and then came back down at the end of this season. So do you see these two teams surviving?
It's going to be tough. I mean, I think Sandwell will survive. I think they're a good, well-drilled side. I think Solent as well have a chance, but they're in a very tough division. It was tough on Kent, and Kent beat Solent last year with that block for them. So we'll see how it pans out. The Prem is such a tough division to play in. All the games will be competitive. No easy opponents.
So fourth down, punt is up. Yes, fields it, makes the first man miss. Now looks to see if he can turn it upfield on the far side. He's got some pace, and he gets out to the Sandwell sideline. And big cheers from the Solent Thrashes contingent in the crowd here. See whether or not the Thrashers in much better field position can make this one work.
Just on the replay, Geese just injecting some energy, some much needed energy into this team. Reverses direction there, sees something towards his left side and makes as much as he can out of it. Nice pace from Geese, and that's going to bring some energy and a little bit of momentum to Solent coming into this drive now. They start from their 32 and they have to do something here.
Interesting. Sawyer's back in at quarterback. One series out. Maybe it was an experiment from Rains. But back in at quarterback now, Sawyer's got loads of time. Ball over the middle. Beautiful throw and catch. Picks up a first down. Number 86 on the reception. That's Hewlett. But lovely. You could see Sawyer's almost looked like he felt like, I've got too much time here. He was bouncing around in the pocket, nervous feet, but made the connection. Beautiful pickup. First down, Solent.
He did a good job of not panicking, didn't he, Sawyer? When he had that additional time, he used it so that the pattern could develop and the receiver, Hewlett, could get some separation. Nice play.
Promising from the Thrashers. To the air again. Battered down this time. Incomplete pass. Third down coming. It's also interesting if you think about the way that it's worked in the Premiership this year, with Leicester being promoted last year and now coming down. Leicester and Sandwell won't have played each other for 2 years, because obviously Sandwell get up there. So you kind of think to yourself, Leicester, because again, Leicester were very dominant in that Division 1. And is it going to be a case of them catapulting back up? We wait to see what the ruling is on the roster situation, obviously with the Americans that Leicester had organised not being permitted to play this year. So whether or not there's going to be any difference for that, and it's all very interesting. It'll make very interesting reading, but I know the other teams in that NFC 1 North division won't particularly fancy going up against Leicester regardless again. So third down and 9 for the Thrashers after a nice first down conversion a couple of minutes ago. Under 10 minutes now in the fourth period here. Brick Bowl 33, Matt Walker, Carl Walkinshaw, Sawyers goes up top, and that's the lofted one. And to be fair to that receiver, he does very, very well, because Pascoe kind of saw that ball just floating and thought, if I don't go and get this, somebody in a grey shirt will.
Sawyer does another good job. You know what, Solent on this offensive line playing really well now. There is effectively no pass rush on the last 2 plays from Sandwell. You'll see here, look, Sawyer with absolutely acres of time and space to get this ball up there. And 13 there just makes a quicker adjustment to the ball than the defender does. So good job by Lee French on that to pull that one in. Solent marching now.
Pascoe with the reception that time. So, handoff. Here's Bowley, and Bowley has room off right tackle. And he bounces outside at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Thrashers. Just like that, we are tied. And it goes to show you how important that last drive was when they had first and goal inside the 5-yard line, the Steelers. Bowley, use the boy.
Well, we said it. Championship caliber players turn up at championship moments, and that was a championship moment. They needed it desperately, and Bowley delivered. Let's see if they can tie it up with this point after.
A lot of pressure on here. El Getty looking to try and convert. Kick it up. Looks good. Signal from our officials. Extra point is good. Sandwell 14, Solent 14. Game on!
This game is tied going in. We have about 8 minutes 30, we think, left. The clock that you see on the screen is unofficial. It is the Div 1 Championship, and here is the touchdown from Bowley. Look at the blockers out front, 74 and 62. Look at the blocking downfield from Greenfield. Bowley picks his way to his right. Afterburners on. Touchdown, Thrashers, and we have game.
I'll tell you what, you were right. 74 on that one wing. 62, McClure. But also Greenfield, that block by that receiver, that was a fantastically well executed block. Didn't hold, obviously managed to stay the right side of him, and that was the block that released Bowley for that score. Great stuff. Brit Bowl 33 continuing to provide entertainment into this late August Saturday evening here in North London. So how will the Steelers respond to that? El Getty, lovely kick. Gives the receiver time, and that's Davidas who returns field. Looks to turn the corner, and there's room for this man on the corner as well. And he's still on his feet, Kinnersley. In fact, it's Alex Salter, my mistake, 86 rather than 8. But that ball is out. Now, that's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of that. That's going to be a 15-yarder, and we think that will go against the Thrashers. But it just depends who's falling on top of this one as Alex Salter gets up from the bottom of the pile. You can't jump on the top of a pile like that, Cole.
Here's the replay. It's a great kick, but it does almost outkick the coverage. Again, Sandwell do this handoff in the backfield there, and then it's just finding speed. It looked like those 3 defenders were going to have him corralled, but no, he finds the sideline, manages to stay in bounds somehow, and eventually they managed to drag him down.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 90. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run, automatic first down.
You saw the penalty there on the screen, number 90 just piling in and putting number 31 of the Sandwell Steelers, who's Paul Zinkas, to the ground. So that's T. Scott on Zinkas for that 15-yard penalty. So a good return from Sandwell, and they're right back in that dominant position on this drive.
Once again, these guys don't get enough credit, but our officiating crew this afternoon of Sean Sumbati, our lead referee, Graham Hedges, Dean Wright, Jim Briggs, Paul Todd, Phil Hume and Liam Wotton doing a great job as always on this one. So first down Sandwell inside Solent territory, handoff this time on first down goes to Chapaninets, and Chapaninets picks up a yard.
Alua with a nice play that time, beats his man, comes inside to make the tackle. It's going to take another play from Alua. It's going to take plays from Varney. These superstar players that have played so well this entire season. It's going to come down to the last 7 or so minutes with key players needing to make key plays. One of these teams has to come out with a win.
It's interesting. Paul Zinkas, number 31, currently on the sideline receiving medical attention after that personal foul. And that ball is batted out, and that's picked off. There is a flag, but I think that flag is going to be against the Sandwell Steelers. So it's Alua once again putting pressure on Varney, catching his arm. And it's going to be a hold against the Steelers. Obviously it will be declined because of the interception. Let's listen to our official.
Holding on the offense, number 72. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down,
So as we call, holding, great work. Go, Cole.
Watch Alua here, just underneath the play, and he has just played absolutely incredible. Alua is astounding as a defensive end. They put one player on him, he can't be blocked. They put two players on him, he can't be blocked. He will not be denied. He has tormented Tristan Varney this entire game, and that was a critical play by a great player at a critical moment in this game. Fantastic.
And at the other end of the pass, McMillan with the interception. Linebacker there getting up high and managing to snag that ball in. So credit to McMillan as well for finishing the play off. But like you say, the tackle against Alua, who's just got his hands full all afternoon. So fantastic. The game that just keeps giving. Turnover, score, big play, penalties, missed opportunities. But let's see, can Sawyers and this offense capitalise again? Has the momentum shifted the way of the boys from the South Coast? And here comes Bowley dancing his way through. Picks up 3 yards. And the Thrashers are in business once again.
Rob Jones is a sure tackler, number 26 for Sandwell. Comes up. Don't think I've ever seen the guy miss a tackle over 3 games that I've covered him in as a commentator. Makes a nice tackle there. Denies Bowley any more yards.
2nd down and 7. Thrashers looking to try and take the lead once again. Bowley on the carry. Picks up another 3. 3rd and 4. They had the lead right at the beginning of this one on the second play from scrimmage to the Thrashers when Bowley scampered in from 25 yards out. Sandwell then scored 2 unanswered touchdowns to take a 14-7 lead, and within the last couple of minutes Solent have levelled things up again through the legs of Bowley, and they're driving again. 3rd and 3, really important again for them to be able to move the chains on this one and not give Sandwell another opportunity. You kind of feel like it's whoever's going to have the ball last might win this one, and here comes Bowley again. He's got a seam again, and he's got enough for a 1st down up to the 50, and he nearly broke the tackle to go all the way. 26. Rob Jones once again on the tackle.
Rob Jones, just as well you can make tackles, because that was going for a touchdown. You'll see here Bowley tips his way, great block from 61, and Rob Jones just does enough. I said he never misses, and he didn't on that one, and by God, Sandwell needed him too.
Great call again, Cole, because there was blocking downfield. The receiver downfield there was doing a job on his DB. But 1st down, midfield, it's 14-14, 5.5 minutes to go. Brit Bowl 33, Division 1 final. Bowley gets the carry again, dances, picks his well, lovely little stutter step, and another Solent 1st down. This is getting interesting now.
And it's another tackle by Rob Jones. That's 3 on the trot. Sandwell have got to find a way to step up. We know they're tired. We know they're beat up. This offensive line just keeps pulling these guards. Every time you turn, you'll see another guard in your face. Look, 74, 61. Rob Jones has to fight off 61 to drag Bowley down by the shirt. And this Solent running team is showing up, and they're showing up big on this drive.
And there goes Bowley again on 1st down. And those 2 guards you mentioned, Coop and Dove, paving the way for Bowley. And at the moment, the Steelers defense hasn't got an answer for this punishing Thrashers offensive onslaught. I still find it remarkable, a couple of series ago, how Sawyers was taken out of the game in that experiment with Marder at quarterback. But maybe Sawyers just needed a bit of a breather, series off, have a conversation with his OC, get his head back in the game. 2nd down. Ball in the hands of number 20 this time. That's Collins. Flag on the play though. Likely to be holding.
They've taken Bowley off the field for some reason. I can't see him on the sideline. I'm assuming it's not an injury and he's just needing a breather before he comes back on. But they do have a lot of depth at running
Holding
back.
On the offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
So it is a holding penalty.
McClure on the hold. That's going to drive him back. Makes a big difference, these penalties, obviously, because you lose that momentum. You've been making good yards on the ground, and whenever you get a penalty like that, it just, as well as the loss of yards, you lose the concentration as well.
So here we go, 2nd and 14. Motion man for the Thrashers, and that's a great hole opened up the middle. And another first down. Big run, no flags this time. And it's Collins once again with the carry in relief of Bowley.
Bowley checking back in, Collins and Bowley now with the 1-2 punch. As Collins goes up, you can see the blocking again. 74 driving his man back. 62 again. Those two guys just making these holes. Greenfield downfield. It is the work of this well-drilled offensive line that's making the difference.
And here's Bowley back on, and he dances again. Those fast feet looking for a gap between his guard and tackle, but that time stuffed by the Sandwell defence. But having said that, not until he's picked up 3 yards, and this is looking ominous with under 4 minutes remaining.
This is soul-destroying, time-consuming drive for these Solent Thrashes as they try and move closer to the championship. They're already in the Premiership. Sorry, they're already in the Premiership next year. But they want more. They want to win this game.
Second down again. Here comes Bowley to the right side this time. Breaks the tackle. And that's a great driven tackle. Get a number for you there when we can. Bowley is slow to get up. And in fact, he rolls back down onto his back.
I'll tell you who made the tackle.
Number 36.
Number 26.
Was it 26? Not your man Jones again.
Let's have a look on the replay. You'll see Rob Jones lurking at that linebacker position. But Bowley's going to need to be looked at, and that is a devastating loss, even with less than 3 minutes to go. If Solent were to lose Bowley here,
well, Collins
it gives Sandwell the chance to defend without their star player on the field.
Collins has come in and deputised relatively well on the last couple of carries, but yeah, that would be a blow. Let's have a look again. Look,
here is the replay. The initial tackle's missed, and Rob Jones has to come in, just lifts his man as you're supposed to do and drives him back. It's another great tackle. Bowley on his feet and going to the sideline now. So despite the obvious pain that Bowley was in, you can see him on the screen there. Nice pick up of Bowley. Let's see whether he is going to return to the game. The medics are going to have a look at him, and it'll Collins that will come in. But again, Rob Jones with that sure tackling, making a big difference for this Sandwell Steelers defence.
3rd and 3. Vital once again for both teams, as you alluded to last time we had a situation like this. Time a real factor now. Who's dropping in to deputise for Bowley? It's Davis. 3rd and 3, you would expect, with Bain at fullback. Here goes Davis with the carry, and that's going to be short. That's going to be 2 yards short. So well stopped by that Sandwell defence. Now there's a decision to make, but that decision appears to be, we want the points. El Getty coming on to try a field goal. There's another player remains down. That's a Steeler this time. They're back on his feet and making his way to the sideline. Doesn't look too bad. That's number 42 for Sandwell. Matthew Whitson.
Keep those tweets coming in. We're enjoying reading them. Solent Seahawks ex-academy wide receiver Joe Pascoe with key grabs. They're watching. Ian's watching as well. Sent us some tweets letting us know what he's thinking of the game. Thanks for the tweets, Ian. Keep watching, keep tweeting. Andy Wayne says, go Steelers. Time to buckle up and hold them.
So here we go. El Gatti has an opportunity to take what could be a decisive lead. Snap is down. It's blocked! It is blocked by the Steelers. And the Steelers fall on the ball, and what a display of perseverance and heart from number 21, Peter Roden.
That steel curtain, it'll bend, but it won't break, Matt. Great block. That's the second block that they've had of a kick today. They obviously drill it. They overload that right-hand side this time, and they stop that kick. And this game is tied. What can separate these two teams? That is the question. Keep your tweets coming in as we get to the finale, the conclusion of this Div 1 battle. Both of these teams now, Premiership teams, they're showing the calibre, their Premiership calibre on display for the first time. and they're playing out of their skins to try and win this one.
These games often bring you more questions than answers sometimes, don't they? You think to yourself, if Bowley had been in there on that 3rd and short, would Solent have been able to convert? Would El Gatti have had to come on and attempt that field goal? Does that swing in favour of the Steelers? Although we're at the 2-minute warning, the Steelers have
the
8.
Kick was recovered and is now at the 17-yard line. That is the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
So, 17-yard line, 83 yards separate the Sandwell Steelers from a Division 1 crown. As earlier in our Division 2 game, both these teams already securing the knowledge that they'll be playing Prem football next year. But this crown means so much to both of them. Can Varney lead this offense 83 yards to glory? And it's a good start. And that good start is made by Chapaninets. And Chapaninets picks up 4 yards on first down.
Is it me, Matt, or does it seem a long time since the Sandwell Steelers were actually on the field with the ball? That was a long drive by Solent to come up empty-handed. See what this defence can do. You know Alua wants another piece of Varney before this is over.
2nd down, Varney to the air, pump fakes, goes over the middle, hits his man. His man makes the first linebacker miss. And wrapped up by the 3rd tackler, but not until he collects a Steelers first down. But there is a flag in the backfield again. There is a flag in the backfield. And look what the Steelers are doing. The Steelers are marching backwards.
Holding on the offense, number 72. That'll be half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Oh, that's a killer for the boys from the West Midlands.
So we got some stats coming in from our double coverage from Nick in double coverage. Thank you, Nick, for sending them in. Sandwell says Tristan Varney's 18 of 32, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Great stats for him. And Bowley, 22 carries, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Back to the action.
Varney to the air again, short of his intended receiver on 2nd down. That'll bring up 3rd and long. And Hugo was trying to get to that ball for the defence, and it's fallen awkwardly. Number 8 there for Solent. Yeah, in the event, Carl, that it stays 14 apiece, we will go to overtime here.
You ready for overtime, Matt?
Well, we've got a couple of fantasy drafts to sort out tonight, haven't we?
Have you got all you need?
Hey, well, I've got you. That's all I need.
Kind of you to say so, sir.
So
there was an overtime game last year. Do you remember Div 2? It was Chester, I think, played in an overtime game. Chester Romans beat, can't remember their opponents. I'm sure someone will tweet in and tell me.
Oh, no, it's the Aberdeen Roughnecks beating the Chester Romans 13-6.
There you go. Great straight out of my memory.
Great memory that you gave the Chester Romans the win there, even though they lost 13-6.
Yeah, apart from the win, apart from which team won, my memory working perfectly.
The Chester Romans. So, here we go then. Big 3rd down. 3rd and 15 for Varney. They'd want to gain a little bit of yardage so that the... awkward catch. Ball behind his intended receiver once again.
Veach comes in and delivers a shot to the back of the receiver on the ground there, and he's not yet got up. We hope he's okay. That is Andy Wilson that's down for Sandwell. Here's the replay. Varney. Well, we'll bring you the replay in a minute. We estimate here 1 minute 11 left. We've got 4th down. Again, Sandwell find themselves in a situation where going for it on 4th down to be tricky as we do look at the replay. Varney, again under pressure from Alua, just couldn't hold on to it right by the sticks, and Veach comes in to make sure that if he had grabbed it, he would have got no more yards.
So, as we come towards the end of our first of 2 days here at Britball 33 weekend, these shows can't be put on without the help from a great deal of people. We'd like to thank EP Sports for helping us to put this stream on this afternoon. Sun is shining over to our left. We've got another crowd. I think that's might even be I know who that is, but other people from other venues watching this final as it becomes intense. So yes, thank you to EP Sports for helping us put this stream on this afternoon. 4th down, good punt, and here's Gias again, and he cuts inside one man and he's snagged and then buried, and the ball is out. The ball is out, but not before the man hit the floor. And again, another injury. All these guys laying themselves on the line. Is Gias is slow to get up. But yes, it's been a good day, Cole. Obviously, big thanks to Steve Matthews and Tom Howe down in our studio. As ever, thanks to Alex and Shane, our cameramen, for today. We've obviously had Tash on board as well, and Roger doing the scoreboard, keeping that all up to date. Brilliant to have all these people, and obviously, Cole, these days are nothing without you standing by my side.
I feel like I should bark or something now.
So anyway, great field position for the Solent Thrashers. 1st down, 42-yard line, I formation, and it's Davis with the carry. He looks for a little bit of daylight. Finds 2-3 yards on 1st down, but no more. Under a minute to go. You would think they would want to try and get El Gatti into field goal range again.
See Bowley on the sideline.
Timeout. Solent. That is their first timeout. There's 55 seconds remaining. 55 seconds.
Okay, good job by our clock operator Roger here. 55 seconds left. Bowley's limping, not on the field. It's going to be left to other backs to do this job if Solent are going to get in within the time limit they've got, which is now less than a minute. 55 seconds before this one goes to overtime.
Man-to-man single coverage down to the bottom of your screen if they choose to go, and also to the top. No deep safeties at all as they hand the ball to Davis once again, and Davis has a seam and he's out and he picks up a 1st down. No flags. The chains are moving. Will the clock stop in terms of another Solent timeout? You would think it may do, but obviously while the chains stop, it'll delay the clock itself. Grandstand finish to this Division 1 final here at Brick Bowl 33, New River Stadium. White Hart Lane, North London. Timeout. Solent is the call.
Timeout. Solent. Called by number 64. That is their 2nd timeout.
So they are less than...
There's 48 seconds remaining. 48.
31 yards away from the end zone, but they might not need to get to the end zone. Sawyer's waiting for time to come back in. I formation still. One receiver either side. Isolated receiver on the top of your screen. It's pitched out, and it's going to be a pass, and it's good coverage, and it's fantastic coverage, but that's going to be called PI. Pass interference. The pass from Marder with a backup quarterback who came out, took the pitch from Sawyers, and that ball was...
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
What have you got to do as a defender, Matt? Let's look at the replay. Gareth Thomas plays it great. Right here, we're having a look. Oh, that, it's so close. Maybe you tug at the jersey, says Roger here. I don't know. That one to me is close, and it's going to come down. That call now puts them into that field goal range, so they can kick this field goal, get out of here with a win. But that's not even a certainty, because Sandwell have blocked 2 of those already, Matt.
All for me, that PI, it appeared to be not when the hand went up, but prior. There seemed to be a little just tug on the shirt a couple of seconds before the ball got to the receiver. But anyway, here we go. Bowley's back in the game. And Bowley bounces to the right, and then he's levelled again. Levelled.
Guess who?
It's that man, Rob Jones. Timeout, Solent. Sorry, Cole.
Bowley's left leg must be tired of getting hit by Rob Jones. I think those two have come together 6-7 times in the last few plays.
Solent. That is their last timeout. 36 seconds remaining. 36.
Wow. Wow, this is a fantastic grandstand finish. Here we go, Cole.
Yeah, here's the tackle. Bowley first play back, and bam, there you go. Have some of that.
He's been a machine. Both Bowley and Jones. I was referring to Jones really, but Bowley as well. He's been taking a licking, but he's kept on ticking.
He really has. He's been very impressive, Bowley. Even with one leg, he's still impressive.
And he's still in there in that I formation. You would think they would feed him again. Well, having said that, they can't afford to feed him too much. They have no timeouts left now. So 36 seconds left. They've got to make sure that they don't run out of time. So one play to Bowley, and Bowley's got a seam, and he's all the way through. No flags. Touchdown, Thrashers. And that could be the Division 1 crown heading to the South Coast. Well-deserved MVP performance. 3 touchdowns on the day, over 200 yards on the ground. Goodness me, Cole. And what a comeback. What a topsy-turvy game. El Gatti to try and add the extra point. El Gatti, the kick is up this time. Sandwell 14, Solent 21. 31 seconds away from being crowned Division 1 champions for 2019. And the crowd here are loving it. Oh, has Varney in the offense got anything special?
Here's the play. They run to the left-hand side because they want to stay away from Rob Jones. It's great blocking again. And Bowley, who's done everything today, he's come on the field, he's got hit and he's gone back off, he's limped off, he's had medical attention, he's scored 3 touchdowns, and the third of those, the most important, and he comes back onto the field and operates as if that hit had never gone in. He's been extremely impressive and they deserve the win. Now, the question is, does Varney have some magic left?
Well, the one good thing is the sun is behind him. The wind has dropped. We know he's got a cannon for an arm. The story of this game, Carl, Solent jumped out to an early lead 2 plays into the game. Sandwell then came back with 2 touchdowns unanswered to take a 14-7 lead. And now, oh, that's not going to drift out of bounds. It stays in bounds. And a great kick coverage by the Thrashers is going to put 90 yards between the Sandwell Steelers and overtime.
It's going to be Varney, and if they're going to do anything here, they've got to get the ball to Huggins. And Huggins has had the best of these defensive backs on a number of occasions. He has got behind them. He's got behind Bradford. He's got behind these DBs. But can he work some magic here to get behind this defence? We'll see how they line up. At the moment, Solent are putting those DBs close to the 30-yard line. Remember that Varney begins this drive on his own 10. And they still need to watch Alua, because he's going to come with some heat on this one, Matt. Here we go.
First down. Here goes Varney, drops back, he steps into the pocket. He's got a man on first down who drops the ball out of bounds. That would have been the perfect start for the Steelers, but unable to haul that one in. But at least the clock stops, but they haven't gained any yardage. Obviously, as well as Huggins, Alex Salter effective, Steve Kinnersley can make receptions. Austin Young has proved his worth as well.
Josh Bradford defending that play, defending it well on the sideline.
So here we go, 2nd and 10. Varney again, here comes the rush. He stands in, he's got a man, and that's picked off! And that is the Division 1 crown going the way of the Solent Thrashers. Intercepted, number 23, Cooksley. Puts the exclamation mark, 26, I apologise. Sorry, number 6 on the pick. Veach comes in, puts the exclamation mark on this Solent victory. There is a flag on the play, but I do probably think that'll be excessive celebration, unsportsmanlike conduct, something like that. But it won't matter. It will not matter.
crowd absolutely loving that one.
Still deliberating is referee Sombati.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Solent bench. It'll be 15 yards, first down.
Well, I think that's the penalty that Steve Rains...
You can hear the crowd booing that one. They're like, what, we can't celebrate? We just won the division, we just won the title.
And here is the best formation in football. If you are running it as an offence, as Sawyers takes the snap, but there's a flag, so premature celebrations. Premature celebrations, they are coming. They are coming, but...
Prior to the snap, delay a game on the offense. The ready for play had not been blown yet. Be 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So another penalty. But again, what do the Thrashers care? They didn't let the whistle blow to say the clock had started and they got a false or delay of game penalty. So this will be it. Sawyers will go under centre. Take the snap for the final time as the plaudits rain down from the Thrasher faithful. And in fact, it may well be, here he goes, Sawyers with the snap, takes the knee, and that is... It is not at the moment, is it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Division 1 Bowl for 2019. The Sandwell Steelers defeated 21-14 by the Solent Thrashes, and the bench, the crowd, as the Thrashers don their black jerseys to celebrate. Obviously they were thankful for the Kent Exiles, but they want to celebrate in their jerseys, Cole. What a game!
They want Solent colours for a Solent victory. What a game. Fantastic from both sides. We knew it was going to be close. But in the end, it's Solent that has the strength and the determination to see this one through. And the crowd absolutely loving it. Both these teams will do excellent in the Prem. Looking forward to what they can deliver.
And we will be back up here shortly for the trophy presentation. But for now, we will hand you down to Tash and the guys from X's and O's for the EP Sports post-game show. Tash, pick the bones out of that one.
What a game that was. That ending was pretty much perfect, wasn't it, guys?
I'm not sure about perfect. I wanted overtime, if I'm not going to lie to you. I wanted a little bit of a shootout at the end, you know, overtime, and then, you know, whoever gets it first gets it. But I guess, you know, fair play to the Solent Thrashers and our boy, the Bronzeman called it. He said Stephen Rains' run game's undefeatable, and in the second half they couldn't stop it. So fair play to him and congrats.
Definitely. So I am joined by Selenka and Bam Bam from X's and O's.
What's up?
X's and O's are the official podcast for the Brit Bowl this year. That's what I'm calling you guys now. The official Brit Bowl podcast.
Everyone calls us the official. I'm just going to say it. We're the one and only. The best. We're the best. We are the official podcast. That means we are the one and only.
Brit Bowl Entertainment, Brit Bowl Podcast.
The best content, and obviously with you guys at Onside, we've been able to give you a good weekend of, well, a good first day of Brit Bowl 33.
For sure. So that is it. So the final score is the Sandwell Steelers 14, the Solent Thrashers 21, and we have a ball game. We had a ball game, for sure. So loads of things happened. We had many interceptions, touchdowns, everything you could ask for, but the majority of it came in the second half.
Yeah. After a tired first half, it was really good to see that both teams really went for the jugular in the second half. I, for one, was really impressed with the run game from the Thrashers. Number 25.
All of them, like all the running backs that were thrown in for the Thrashers, completely, like there was no edge contained from Sandwell. Number 25 was getting to the edge so much. Number 23, number 20, when they all got in, even up the gut, they were able to just punish them countless amounts of times. I think they went back to the same play 3 times, and all of them picked up first downs.
Yeah.
So when you look at number 25 stats, so 25 carries, 162 yards. 3 TDs.
Speaks for itself.
I mean, he got the most TDs. Are you expecting potentially an MVP?
If it doesn't go to him,
if it doesn't go to him,
I'll be very shocked. But I want to give an honourable shout out to number 4.
Yeah.
On special teams, he did a hell of a lot on special teams that stopped Sandwell from getting good field position.
Yeah, for sure.
Another massive shout out for myself to number 29 from Sandwell. Sandwell, number 29, he's an absolute baller. I look forward to seeing him in the Premiership, just catching balls in the air for fun and making guys on the defence look silly.
Yeah, because when you look at him, 2 TDs. So right now we have got... right now, I think that we're going back to the field because they're about to do the... Okay, it's just been announced. Sorry, we're not going back to the field. It's just been announced that 25 is the MVP. So our predictions were correct.
Very well deserved.
If only I wish I had an earpiece right now that went to the field that could tell me these things. Yeah. So 25 MVP, totally deserved. But yeah, 29 Huggins for the Sandwell Steelers, another shout out. Yeah. But also, we talked about in after the first half about the Legion of Swag, the Sandwell DBs. Yeah. They finally stepped up in that second half.
You just called them the Legion of Swag.
That's what they're called.
Their nickname?
That's their nickname. Yeah.
And they got an interception, to be fair to them. So
they. If we're talking about DBs on both sides, I feel the Sandwell... I'm a DB myself. Sandwell Steelers DBs were much better than the Solent Thrashes DBs. Yeah. Like, the aerial attack was non-existent, so they had to go to the ground game. But props to them. I mean, I feel Sandwell had a lot of time to wrap the game up.
100%.
Definitely on defence. Their defence was probably the better defence, but you never know, any given Sunday, as they say.
Yeah.
Love it. So when we look at also the Sandwell QB...
Yeah.
Yes.
So we saw some amazing passes from him. 80 completions out of 32 passes, though. With the power of his passes, do you think that's because of the receivers, or do you think that was because of his throws?
A little bit of both. At Division 1, it's really, really hard to find a decent quarterback. So if you can get a quarterback that's going to make at least half of his passes or attempts anyway, I think that's decent. But if you can also find a receiver that's going to make loads of yards after the catch, then you're onto a winning formula. And that's what they had. It's a shame they couldn't put the ball in the hands of number 29 as much as they wanted to. But I think they've got a decent combination if they can keep those two guys together.
But do you think that the performance from these guys today and the stats they're putting up, are they Premiership stats, or do you think that they're going to...
Now you're asking.
The question was coming.
Respectively, in the North and the South, the Premierships are very hard. Like, you have a lot of top-tier teams in the South, being the Warriors, the Blitz, the O's, and Bristol, who are kind of... Well, obviously, Warriors speak for themselves. 6 championships back... 5, and going into their 6th back-to-back. But if you look at the South, there's a lot of teams... Do I see them Solent getting some sneaky wins next season? Yeah, any given Sunday, as I said. But they're definitely going to need to give more than what they gave today, because the Premiership is not easy.
I'll tell you for free, Batman's the nice guy. I say things as they are. I don't think either of them are going to have a nice time in the Premiership next season. I watched the full game, and I don't think that the standard right now anyway is there to compete with the top level guys or the top teams in the Premiership. However, things can change. If they have a brilliant off-season, recruit well, have a brilliant pre-season, then you never know. They might cause an upset. But the way I see things now, enjoy your medals, guys, right now. But
so we will see what happens in the off-season for both these teams. We're going to head up back to Carl and Matt, who are going to take us through the presentation of the trophies.
Thanks, Tash. Great work as ever. It's kind of agree a little bit with the boys down there. These guys are going to find it tough in the Prem next year, but recruiting's important on this off-season. Now that these guys have both managed to secure that Premiership status, it's really important for them to get a new wave of players in.
If it was easy, everyone would be in the Prem, right? Do we want an elite Prem? Yes. Do we want it to be tough? Yes. These teams have both earned it because they've played Div 1 football to such a high quality over a number of years. Remember that Sandwell have been knocking on the door for years. Solent have been knocking on the door for years. And they've both now made it. They've both got there. Sandwell will be very disappointed not to have won this one. They're a classy outfit. Only been around 4 years, going into their 5th year already in the Prem. And that's the only loss that they've taken this year is to these Thrashers. And it was a hell of a game.
So we see the Steelers collecting their runners-up medals, and like you say, will be dejected, but life will go on and life will go up for them in the Prem, and we await the Solent Thrashes to collect their Division 1 medals and their winners' trophy. And Carl, it was a foregone conclusion, really. Bowley MVP, 3 TDs, over 160 yards, carried the Solent Thrashes largely on his back.
Not for me. I would have given the MVP to Alua. I thought he was standout, and I haven't seen a defensive end talent like that in British American football I don't think I've ever seen a talent like that in British American football. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, and he would have been my MVP. How many times he hit Varney? 5, 6? How many fumbles forced? How many turnovers created? The interception was created by him. He'd have been my MVP. But yes, Bowley scored the touchdowns, and Bowley fully deserves it, but Alua would have been my MVP.
And I suppose this is where this MVP system sometimes is flawed. You sometimes see the people scoring the touchdowns, gaining the yards, as the people who are the heroes. But like you say, I mean, you could give it to any of those offensive linemen as well. The guards pulling and making those holes on this real dominant Sandwell defence. You know, we know that this game is all about 11 men doing their job. Okay, one man doesn't, and the play doesn't work. So yeah, Bowley's got the football in his hand, crossing the goal line. But any of those offensive players, I think today, could earn on MVP honours. And if you're Bowley, I might go back and say, boys, this is ours. This isn't mine. This is ours.
Yeah, if you're Bowley, you're buying the beers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see
offensive line.
As we see the Thrashers in their more familiar jerseys collecting their winners' medals. There's some fantastic performances all over the field from the Solent outfit. And again, they will take on the might of the London Warriors next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we will see those guys in action tomorrow. And who knows, I don't know what the plans are of the Thrashers, but they may stay around and watch themselves. You are more than welcome to join us down here at New River Stadium tomorrow for that one. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff. We'll be on air from 3:15. The Brit Bowl 33 final, Premiership final between the Tamworth Phoenix and the London Warriors. A lot of people assuming that's going to be a one-sided affair in favour of the Warriors. But the reason we play these games is because it's all well and good seeing what's written down on paper, but you don't play football on paper.
Shout out to Steve Rains as well, the head coach of Solent Thrashes. Has been doing this a very long time. I think he was in his first final back in 1991. I was still playing back then. I was still playing. I was still playing junior football, I think.
You would have been. You would have been.
And there he was winning finals.
I was 17.
And here he is winning again in 2019. So a hell of a career for him.
Absolutely.
And pulls it out of the bag again. One of those long-time coaches, been in the game, involved a lot of players been impacted by him, and you can see why. That run game is something to behold, no doubt about it, and Solent brought it today and fully deserved the win at the end of this one.
You mentioned at the start of the game how big their squad looked, and they've obviously got that strength in depth as well. Funnily enough, they look smaller now they're in the black jerseys. It looks like they were more
what black will do, is very slimming that.
But as the final few players and coaches make their way to collect the medals, and here is the MVP, Bowley, shaking hands with the BAFA officials. Coaches coming through, very proud moment for all involved with the club, from sideline crew to coaches. These games and these teams don't happen accidentally. The successful teams have a very, very solid infrastructure. And as I was saying, this is day one done of Brit Bowl 33 with Matt Walker and Carl Walkinshaw as we await the raising of the Division 1 trophy. And that's going to be raised by Lee Sang. But here is our MVP. Well deserved, Mr. Bowley. You have made a name for yourself in the Brit Bowl community. The Division 1 South may well have known you and come to know you this year, but now the nation are aware of you and your talents.
Yeah, he really was a show reel. Well over 200 yards in the end. And despite taking the batterings from Rob Jones in that last sequence of play we saw, got hit 6 or 7 times by Rob Jones, comes back on, scores the winning touchdown. and would not be denied.
When you sum up this game, when you think about how this game flowed, 2 plays in, Solent score. You wonder whether or not Sandwell are a rabbit in Carlisle headlights. Then Sandwell are dominant for the next 3 quarters or so, going 14-7 ahead. Then in that final quarter, Solent find another gear, level it up at 14, and then with almost as much time left as there was when they first scored, they take the game. Great scenes down there. Division 1 national champions for 2019. Oh, the Solent Thrashers. We're going to hand back down to Tash, who's going to wrap things up for tonight. But we will see you once again tomorrow for the culmination of Brit Bowl 33. Thanks, Cole. Down to the studio.
So we're back in the studio. The Solent Thrashers have just lifted the Division 1 trophy, beating the Sandwell Steelers. So we're going to actually have a look through some of the touchdowns now, because everybody loves a good touchdown. And I'll be honest, there were actually some pretty good ones.
They were decent. Yeah. Really, really nice one from Sandwell.
I mean, when you look at some of the running ones, so actually, this is the first one from our MVP from today, number 25,
Bowley. Well.
You look at him, just his speed, the defence don't even get a touch on him as you watch it.
Exactly what I was talking about when I said there was no contain. He was able to get to the outside very, very quickly and very, very easily, and then he just got to the hashes and ran up the sideline. As a defensive coordinator, if that's me, I'm saying, why is he being allowed to do that throughout the whole game? Got to ask some questions, but they deserve to win, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that having somebody like him on doing something like that and doing it so early on in the game, it made a statement, and it showed Sandwell where their weaknesses were, and I think that that's where they managed to actually go back to their defensive playbook and actually show them, right, we need to change up some things, we need to move some things around, because at the moment this isn't working, because he's getting through every single time if we let him do that.
The thing is, they tried to, but they couldn't stop him all game.
Yeah.
I guess speed just kills.
He took a bit of time out off and then came back on. Yeah,
speed kills.
So we're looking at number 2, and number 2 is Sandwell's touchdown, which levelled out the game 7-7. So this one was obviously a passing touchdown, and this was our first kind of real vision of number 29, Huggins from Sandwell.
That was a very, very nice grab. I mean, he kind of plucked it almost near the floor, and to run it in for the touchdown, it just shows a lot of determination. And as I said, he was beating the DBs from the Solent Thrashers for fun. If the ball got to him more, the game would have been totally different.
We said this before the half, actually, and it was, when you are a DB, your one rule is you never let your receiver get behind you.
You don't want to get beat, especially as a safety, free safety and a strong safety. You don't want to get beat deep, because you are the last line of defence. A corner on the island doesn't want to get beat as well, because he's essentially got no help. So the fact that he was able to do it multiple times, if the QB had looked his way, as I said, more often,
100%.
Maybe he would have got a hat trick of touchdowns. Maybe the game would have gone different.
Yeah, for sure. And then he's come in the second half, 1 from Sandwell, 2 from Solent, and we actually thought that obviously Sandwell were going to take this game, because it was 14-7 for the majority of the second half. And then once again, I think this was Sandwell doing what they do best, going through the air, making sure that they actually get that ball to the receivers, and once again it was to number 29, Huggins.
This touchdown,
I'm surprised they didn't go for it more. Is it me, or did they try to? Or
that's Tony toe tap. That was a nice touch.
Like I said, he was catching balls for fun and just making the defenders look silly. So I'm surprised they didn't try target him a lot more, because one, he's got good hands, 2, he's brilliant with his feet as well. So
exactly that. Like, you saw him. Tony toe tap. Like, he caused himself. He beat the defender, stayed in bounds, and was able to run it in. And there was no one over the top coming to help the corner that got beat. If the ball got to him, as I said, as I keep on saying, if the ball got to him more in the game, if the quarterback was able to look his way more, I'm sure he would have found him, and the quarterback would have got more than 18 out of 32.
Yeah, definitely. There was actually something that happened in the first game. I don't think you guys would have seen it.
No.
Very similar to that toe tap, but it was a full-blown Michael Jackson moment.
Oh yeah, Chosinko-esque.
Where it was literally right on the edge, the guy went up onto his toes as he was getting the interception to make sure he didn't go out of bounds, and then carried on running up the sideline. But those are the sort of people that you need in your team, isn't it?
Playmakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Every team needs some playmakers.
As what we've been talking about, he is going to be Sandwell's playmaker next season when they're in the Premiership.
He's put a big big target on him because a lot of people are going to be looking to say, oh yeah, this guy, he did a lot of damage.
That's your target, man. Let me mark him. Let me cover him.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously Solent came back, levelled up the game again.
Yes.
With, once again...
running to the outside, no edge contain.
When he's saying that, he uses his blocks well. He's not just running into space. He's finding out where his guys are blocking for him and just running into space. And once the guy's in space, it's hard to catch. The guy's got speed on him.
I think that looking at that as well, like what you were just saying, it's not just about number 25.
Yeah.
He actually had some great team members around him, so number 80 there blocking. Yeah. But also, the thing that actually got them to that field position was number 13 with his catch as he made that adjustment, because actually if you look at it, the pass before that, which was basically nowhere near to be getting a first down because it was going off, it was lofty, everything was off, and then number 13 made that adjustment to make sure that those two DBs weren't getting around him, and that's actually what caused then Bowley to be able to actually run in, because he had great field position from that moment. So actually when you look at the Solent team, they did have moments of greatness.
Other players are doing their bit.
They definitely showed stuff on their playbook that maybe Sandwell hadn't or didn't know that they had. As you said, he contorted to make that catch. That was a great catch. There were flashes from where both teams kind of didn't know where it was going, but there were definitely flashes from both teams where you could say, yeah, they're going to win it now. You can see they're going to win it. And Solent came out on top.
And then in the final minute of the game,
literally,
I think that's
I'll be honest, we weren't even ready to do this.
Nah, I said, I kept saying overtime, especially because one of the boys predicted it as well. I was like, I think this goes overtime. This would be decent, but
I had my sunglasses on, my hoodie on, and I was in a coat. And then suddenly the touchdown happened, and I was like, oh, I better get ready. I was like, that's happened. But yeah, the final touchdown, it came out of nowhere, really, didn't it?
I don't think it came out of nowhere. I think it was coming. I called it just before the play. I did it. I knew it was coming, but I think for me, what led to them actually scoring that was that massive call from the referees where they had a running back pass and referees called pass interference. I need to see it again. I'm not going to say it was a bad call, but I think that call changes the whole drive. Because
I just saw Tings just like...
For me, from what I think it was great coverage. He had his head turned. He had one arm before when the ball was in there. There was no contact with the receiver, so I don't know what they called it on. But I suppose, as I said, any given Sunday, you get a call.
That's it. Yeah,
they got the call in their favour, and they took their chance. They took their chance and ended up winning the game.
Definitely. So I'm going to take it back to what you're saying about the flags. There was a lack of discipline today, and I think that's what they're going to have to focus on in the off season, basically.
You can't give anyone in the Premiership 3 yards because you will be punished, and they've seen it here today. These guys are now in the Premiership; they're Premiership clubs.
So if
you give away 15 yards like that, you will be punished, and that's what's happened today. They were punished on a final play. If they have to do that same play again, maybe he doesn't make it to the end zone. So,
do you think that these teams are going to stick about tomorrow to watch?
I think
Brit Bowl
if they
33.
are smart and if they want to be serious about the Premiership, that they should stick around, because they're going to see the upper echelon of both North and South playing. Obviously, Solent being in the South and Sandwell being in the North.
Yeah.
And me as a player, me as an athlete, I'm looking to beat the best, and I can only beat the best if I know what the best are doing.
Yeah.
So I think if they're smart, if the head coach is screwed on, if the head coach wants them to succeed going into the Premiership, they definitely have to stay around tomorrow.
Because I did see a couple of the Tamworth Phoenix players, or at least saw one. I saw some Nick Shorts.
I saw some Nick Shorts.
So
they're around.
They're around, and they're obviously out here scouting because they know that they're playing against at least one of these teams, because you never know if either of these teams get to playoffs next year. You never know. Manchester Titans did it last. Manchester Titans
are a very, very different organisation. Very good outfit.
Anything can happen.
You have to look at what happened to Manchester Titans.
Anything can happen.
You have to look at what happened to Manchester Titans in the playoff games.
Yeah.
Obviously, they beat every team in the North, but then when they came to face the South team, which was the Warriors.
Yeah.
I just don't see it, but yeah, best of luck to both of them next season anyway.
Okay, and then finally, one of the things I want to talk about is both the teams getting so close to scoring, deciding to go, especially with Solent, deciding to go for field goals, and literally Sandwell blocking every single time.
Yeah, going for field goal is the safe boring way to win a match, I believe. Like, it's happened too many times. You kind of want to, I think, to assert your dominance, you have to get that touchdown to say, you know what, we didn't just beat them comfortably. We beat them because we were going to beat them and we were always going to beat them. And you can only do that with a touchdown. Going for a field goal, for me personally, is a weak option.
For me, it's a difficult one because before a final, I think field goals are something that you definitely need to work on. If you haven't worked on it, then yes, you have to go for a play and hope for the best. But if you're coming to a final, field goals are something that you definitely special teams in general, you have to work on it because sometimes that's where the games are won and lost. And if they manage to get 2 or 3 of those field goals, then the game's completely different. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. Only the coach knows if they've worked on it, and if he reckons they can get it, then yeah, cool, go for it. If you know your team's not comfortable taking field goals, then you have to go for a play. So.
Well, you're talking about special teams, obviously in the first half when we had that play when it was that kick return and then that fumble. But so like we say, special teams can make or break a game.
100%.
So it's truth. So it is over. Day 1 of Brit Bowl 33 done and dusted. Thank you so much to the guys who are all here from X's and O's, who are all going to try and jump in this shot
X's
right now.
X's and O's to the world, baby.
X's and O's to the world. Just want to quickly say thank you to you guys at Onside as well. You've given us a massive opportunity, and we're very proud of and thankful for that. You've got everyone here. Everyone said, "This is, you know what? This is crazy because this is the first time in like 2 years where all 8 of us have been in the same place at the same time." So yeah, it's cool. It's amazing to actually be here. You'll see us tomorrow.
Yeah,
of course.
It's been a brilliant day 1. Looking forward to tomorrow. And quick one before we go as well, we have a special episode of the X's and O's podcast being released tonight.
Tonight.
I feel like
Where can they listen to it? Social
basically,
media?
all our socials are X's and O's team. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, X's and O's team. Our podcast will be available on every single podcast platform. I'm going to hand to the best defensive lineman in the country. The greatest defensive lineman in the country wants to speak. Can you fit?
Oh no, I can't.
Switch it.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. No matter where you're watching this, I hope we brighten up your day. If you don't believe in God, keep looking to the stars, and if you do, just keep praying. Your days will get brighter. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Thank you very much again, guys. Definitely appreciate it.
So thank you so much to the guys from X's and O's for joining me at this post-game show. It's been great. Tomorrow we will be back live on air from 11:15 to bring you the under-19s final and the big one. It will be Tamworth Phoenix versus the London Warriors. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Mama made it.